call Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
We came up with the idea of auctions in August. Gulf Coast Bank does all the work. We display the item, we prominently feature it in social media, on our website, but we do it because it's the right thing to do for the community.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Patriots with a surprising shakeup on the back end of their defense with a little more than a week to go before their season opener. New England releasing veteran safety Jabril Peppers. For the much-anticipated Week 1 showdown between top-ranked Texas and number 3 Ohio State, the Buckeyes once again are a 1.5-point favorite at ESPN Bet. It's just the latest movement this week in the point spread for the game. Yahoo Sports contributor Andy Backstrom explains why.
I think that what you're seeing is preseason polls and preseason expectations and preseason lines moving. So we really don't know exactly what's going to happen. I don't expect a blowout. I know some pundits have suggested that might happen, but I really think this will be one of those one-score games going down to the fourth quarter.
Andy Backstrom on Joe and Q. Major League Baseball announced Mariners outfielder Victor Robles had his suspension for his bat-throwing incident while on a minor league rehab assignment reduced from 10 to 7 games. Suspension starts with tonight's series opener against the Guardians in Cleveland. Seattle currently 2 games back of AL West leading Houston and holds the 3rd AL wildcard spot.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's a Football Friday edition of AFR live from Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are presented today by our friends over at Pinhook Bourbon. Cannot wait to tell you more about that collab as we move throughout the day. Man, if you are just finally ready for football, come kick off your football weekend here with us at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Kind of drizzly, rainy. Forget all that. Come get you a cocktail, smoke you a cigar, hang out with us because we're talking football. A lot of LSU Clemson over the next 3 hours, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. But let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
I failed to mention, my apologies, no Terrio today. Macy Terrio, shout out. Freshman track star at LSU is running in her first collegiate meet today. So I told Ryan, you're not even welcome on the show today. You don't even have a decision to make. You're not invited to be on the show today. You're going to watch your daughter run. So no Terrio today, but Phil Steele in less than 15 minutes. Pete Fiutak coming up in hour number 2. We will have our tailgate segment. Chris Doering will be here as well with us. Our celebrity guest picker today. Look, we had to get some 2019 mojo. LSU beat Clemson for the Natty in 2019. We had to bring some of that 2019 mojo, so we're going to do that with our celebrity guest picker in hour number 3, so you'll want to catch that. Okay, it is confirmed a day ago when we were here talking about the AJ Haulcy reports, rumors, possibilities, now confirmed. Brian Kelly on his radio show, give a listen, did confirm Haulcy is suspended for the first half.
The NCAA has upheld his suspension for the first half. It's unfortunate. Look, we can't, sit here and complain because the decision's been made, right? So let's move on. We got really good football players, and the safety position is in great hands, and we'll get him ready for the second half to make plays all over the field. I don't want it to be a distraction at all. It should not be even the third headline about this game. This is going to be a great game.
I want to talk about what LSU does without AJ Haulcy. Brian Kelly there said point blank he doesn't want this to be a distraction, doesn't want it to be a headline. I don't want it to be that for his team or for his coaching staff, but our job is to talk about it, so we're going to talk about it. Let me. Two things, I say oftentimes, two things can be true at the same time, and I think these things are not mutually exclusive. One is that AJ Haulcy should be suspended. Okay, there is a rule, and it is black and white. We looked at the rule book yesterday. There are no appeals. He was ejected for fighting. It was in the second half of the game. He must be suspended for the first half of the next game. It was the last game of last season, so therefore he is suspended for the first half of the first game of this season. It is this game. That is black and white. That is objectively true. There is no appeal. He is suspended. And that is the right call. It is the right decision. That is true. Also true is that it sucks royally that this didn't happen until the Wednesday before the game. The NCAA notified the University of Houston formally in writing in December of Haulcy's suspension. Haulcy transfers. The NCAA never notified LSU. They didn't notify AJ Haulcy, and clearly someone at Clemson was notified by either Houston or the NCAA. And I'm guessing it's from the University of Houston, because if the NCAA didn't tell LSU, then they clearly didn't tell Clemson, unless if someone leaked it there. And then the information we got yesterday from a spokesperson was that, yes, it was in fact Clemson who notified the NCAA of some goings-on. So my guess, again, I'm editorializing here, just to be clear. This is an editorial distinction. Someone at Houston made someone at Clemson aware, like, hey, you know that kid's not eligible. Clemson tells the NCAA for however long they sat on it, I don't know. And then, yes, it's been decided Haulcy can't play in the first half, and that sucks. The fact is he should be suspended. How this suspension and the timeline played out sucks, because you could have spent all of fall camp preparing for this, preparing someone else to start and play the first half. I went back and looked at my notes from last Saturday, the dress rehearsal LSU had, the 3 11-on-11 series that we got to watch. Haulcy and Cooley were your starting safeties. So they were preparing for him to start at free safety. And now, 48 hours before the game, they find out he's not going to be available for the first half. That part of it sucks. There's no other way around it. This is gamesmanship at its finest or at its worst, however you want to phrase it. It's what it is. But they'll have to move on. Brian Kelly, when he was meeting with reporters before his coach's show, was asked about the hypothetical, what if potentially Haulcy isn't there, what do they do at safety? Here's what Brian Kelly said.
Well, Deshaun Spears is playing a lot of football for us, Jordan Gilbert. So you've got, pretty good depth, Javian Toviano. We feel really good about our defensive backfield. So, like I said, we're dealing with it the same way you guys are. We're waiting for information. Once we get it, we'll adjust accordingly and be ready to play Clemson.
So initially there he mentioned Spears and Gilbert, then also Toviano. When I go back and look at my notes, it's been Spears primarily who's been at free safety backing up AJ Haulcy. So is it Spears or potentially Jordan Gilbert? Remember, Gilbert, as we've seen the past few weeks, has been running really third team at safety, and he's been moved to the second team star linebacker backing up Harold Perkins. Just to illustrate the difference between these two guys, Jordan Gilbert's a guy that's played in almost 40 career football games with 21 starts. So this is a guy who has played from A&M and LSU a ton of football. Spears is a guy that was a 5-star signee a year ago and struggled early and ultimately saw in the second half of the season a year ago his playing time really diminish. So just as an illustration, against Deshaun Spears now, the 5-star from Denham. Against Southern Cal, he played 2 snaps. After that, against Nichols, this is his snap count. 28, 44, 37, 37. Then after the South Alabama game, 3, 5, 13, 8, 1. Then in the bowl game, he played 27 snaps. The point is, after that South Alabama game, when they got to Ole Miss week, they said, you know what? We're just going with the veterans. And you saw that's when they went Gilbert, Sage Ryan, Major Burns. They just went with the dudes who had played a ton of football. It's like, You got higher upside with the young guys, but the veterans know where to be on the field, so they went with those guys. Even if they had a lower ceiling, higher floor, you weren't going to see the mental mistakes maybe from the veteran guys. But for instance, when you look at Deshaun Spears, his highest grades from Pro Football Focus, an 81 in run defense, a 71 in tackling. Outstanding. He was more of a liability in coverage, where his grade was just a 50. Again, that's not knowing your assignment. Look at Jordan Gilbert on the flip side of it. Gilbert's Pro Football Focus grades last year, his run defense grade, a 51. His tackling grade, a 51. His coverage grade was a 54, but I want to remind you that Gilbert played most of last season with a bum shoulder. The last time he played a full season was 2022 at A&M, and his coverage grade was a 73. So what you have here is Spears, great athlete, instinctive, downhill, great tackler, can help against the run. Gilbert, veteran guy, better in pass coverage than he is tackling it against the run. So the question Brian Kelly, Blake Baker, Jake Olson need to ask is, which skill set is better in this game? The veteran who can cover, or the super athletic young guy who's a really good downhill tackler, can help you in run defense, that sort of thing. Might be a little bit of a liability in coverage. That's what LSU's going to have to answer. That's what we'll find out in the first half. But the bottom line is, for LSU, the best case scenario is you go out there and you run the football like we've talked about all offseason. You shrink that first half, and the best defense for your defense is playing ball control offense. Keep the ball, keep Clemson's offense on the sideline. So, we'll see if LSU's able to run the football effectively and what direction they go there to start the game. But you better believe Tamarcus Cooley is going to be your starting strong safety. What do they do at free? Will it be Spears or Gilbert? We'll get that answer when LSU takes the field defensively for the first time against Clemson on Saturday night. All right, we're here at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Our show every day is open. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Tigers. You're going to be having a game watch party at your house. Remember, go to great local retailers. You'll see those white Bud Light cans and aluminum bottle, the officially licensed LSU Bud Light cans and aluminum bottles. Find them at retailers. Drink with the Tigers this football season, and the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of LSU and the official beer of AFR. All right, y'all, we are here at Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. What are you doing on this Friday? I don't care what you're doing on this Friday. You're coming to hang out here for the next 3 hours, and then tonight as well. They're going to have Auburn Baylor on tonight. You need a place to watch it. Come watch it here at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Of course, they have a limited food menu. They've got premium cocktails. They got beer. And, of course, we are presented today by Pinhook Bourbon. Laurel behind the bar. They've got free samples, by the way. Laurel behind the bar is serving up some great cocktails. They're doing a Pinhook Old Fashioned. You can drink any of their core three, the rye, the bourbon, or the cask strength bourbon as well. If you've never tried Pinhook Bourbon, trust me, y'all know I'm a bourbon guy. I could not hawk something that I didn't believe was a good product. I've been drinking Pinhook Bourbon for nearly a decade now. It is a fantastic product that is at an affordable, approachable price point. Trust me, you'll love it. If you want to try it, come hang out with us here today at Don Juan Cigar Bar. And if they don't have it at your watering hole or retailer, ask for Pinhook Bourbon. Let me knock out a quick break, y'all. When we come back, it's our weekly visit with Phil Steele. So thrilled to bring this back, previewing the biggest games of the college football weekend with the man, Phil Steele. We'll do it next here on AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. If you are thinking about building a pool, make one call. Duplessis Builders. Call Derek Duplessis over at Duplessis Builders. The process, I'll give you a little peek behind the curtain, but what I would recommend you do first and foremost is go to the website, look at the tab at the top that says Our Book, and it'll explain to you the whole process. But what you're going to do first is you're going to go to their showroom on Airline Highway in Prairieville. You're going to look at designs. They're going to hold your hand as you pick out your finishes. What tiling, coping, colors do you want? They'll hold your hand through that process, the whole design. And then they'll get on the schedule. And Derek's very upfront about how long it's going to take. They don't cut corners. They build a premium product that will last 10-year workmanship warranty. That, in part, is how you become part of Pool & Spa Magazine's top 50 pool builders in America. So check them out online at DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Injected into my veins. Football Friday. Phil Steele is back. We're at Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. Oh, my God. We get to binge on football, and Phil Steele gets to peer into his crystal ball and tell us what's going to happen before it even does. Phil, it's great to have you back. How are you?
You know, I am doing great, Matt. How about yourself?
Fantastic, man. It is peak college football energy here, man, with LSU and Clemson, and we're going to get to that to wrap up as we always do, but fired up to talk some ball with you for another season. And, man, you know, right out the chute here on a Friday night, we get Auburn going to Waco. Not really a traditional matchup here, but one that feels super significant for both of these head coaches, especially Hugh Freeze. Baylor is a 1.5-point dog at home as I look at it right now. Phil, which coach ultimately here is going to start their season off with a pretty significant win?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to be a really good game. And when you look at Auburn this year, you know, Jackson Arnold wasn't overwhelming at Oklahoma, but he's got a better supporting cast to turn to here. He's got my number 6 set of receivers, number 12 offensive line, plenty of talent on the defense, led by Keldrick Falk up front. So they're a really good team this year. And remember last year, despite the losing record, they were actually plus 62 yards per game in SEC play. So I think Auburn's a dangerous team. But I'm really high on Baylor this year. Baylor is at home. They're a team that won their last 6 games of the regular season last year. They got Sawyer Robertson back at QB. I've got one of the top running backs in Bryson Washington, and a veteran team overall. Dave Aranda, of course, calling the defense. I would have had Baylor a slight favorite in this one. Since they're the dog, I'm going to lean with Baylor to pull the upset here.
Okay, an outright win there for the Baylor Bears and Dave Aranda. Of course, LSU saw Baylor in the bowl game just back in December, January. The other sort of big one tonight is Georgia Tech, Colorado. The post-Shadur Sander, Travis Hunter era there in Boulder, and Georgia Tech is going from Atlanta out to Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. But the Yellow Jackets are a 4.5-point road favorite here, Phil. Who do you like with the Jackets and the Buffs?
Yeah, I like Georgia Tech this year. I think they're a legitimate contender in the ACC. You look at Haynes King at quarterback, one of the most underrated QBs in the country, had an outstanding 14-2 ratio last year, nearly had 1,000 yards rushing. They also have Jamal Haynes back at running back. They've got a tremendous receiving duo with Malik Rutherford and Eric Rivers, who comes over from FIU. Offensive line, Brent Key has crafted a very good bunch. And defensively, I thought they made major strides stopping the run last year after going from allowing 5.4 yards per carry in 2023. They dropped it to 4.1 last year, and I think bigger improvement on the way this year. Coach Key is happy with the depth he's got on the defensive line and likes the linebackers like EJ Lightsey is a guy with NFL potential. Quarterback Amari Harvey, NFL potential. For Colorado, they nearly got to the Big 12 title game, but lose all their big names. Now, Deion Sanders is saying they're a better team this year, but I'm saying that they're not. And I think Georgia Tech is going to be able to go into Colorado, come out of there with the win. Happy that the spread is not at a touchdown or more, so I'll take the Yellow Jackets minus the 4 here.
Okay, Phil Steele's with us. Of course, philsteele.com, S-T-E-E-L-E, philsteele.com. You go to YouTube, take the Phil Steele Plus tour. More on that in a bit. As we flip the page to Saturday, Phil, I know you're up in Big Ten country, and they like them big noon kickoffs, man, but a lot of the country wishes this was a night game. How do you feel about Texas-Ohio State being a noon Eastern kick?
Well, I don't mind. I wish it was actually a noon kick and not a 12-14 kick.
I got to remind myself, Phil is very much opposed to the big noon kickoff actually being a big noon 14 kickoff. Okay. This one, Phil, you're going to have to help me. We've seen some pretty significant line movement where the week started. Ohio State was, tell me if I'm wrong, as much as maybe a 2.5-point favorite. This is flipped now to where Texas here on Friday is a 1.5 choice. First of all, what do you make of that, of all this line movement?
Not a big deal.
Okay.
First of all, the numbers they're crossing are not major numbers. If you felt Ohio State was going to win the game, you probably felt they were going to win by more than 1 or 2. And if you felt Texas was going to win the game, generally if you cross the number 3, that's a big line number to cross. So the numbers they're crossing right now are not anything big for the game. And let's face it, Texas, the number 1 team in the country, they were the first number 1 ranked AP team to have a season opener and be the underdog. That has now been corrected.
So how do you see it going there at 12-14 Eastern?
I think the under is probably your best play here, Matt. You've got 2 quarterbacks who, Arch Manning, for all the hype, has never had a road start. And, of course, Julian Sayin for Ohio State is in his first start. I think Texas, when you look at them, they have my number 1 rated defense in the country. My biggest question mark would be offensive line, which loses 4 starters this year. So I don't know if Texas is going to blow away Ohio State offensively, but I do think their defense is great. And when you look at Ohio State, while they've got weapons, they've got a young quarterback, I think the key here is to not have your quarterback make mistakes. So I think we'll see conservative from both teams. You remember when they met in the playoffs last year, even with a screen pass right before the half, like 13 seconds before the half, that went 78 yards for a touchdown and a 98-yard fumble return for a touchdown. The 2 teams combined for 42 points. The total here is about 48. I like the under as the best play here. Now, as for the side, I lean a little bit with Texas. I like their the fact that they've got my number 1 rated defense. I think Ohio State lost a little more on defense than Texas did, but I think it's going to be a great game.
He is Phil Steele. Get him at PhilSteele042 on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Tennessee and Syracuse are going to play a neutral site game. It's going to be a lot of orange there in Atlanta. Everyone wants to know what Tennessee is going to look like post Nico Iamaleava with Joey Aguilar coming in. And they get a challenge here with Fran Brown's Syracuse team. But Tennessee, Phil, a 13.5-point favorite at this neutral site game. How do you see it?
Yeah, and if you're breaking down the offenses, Matt, both teams lost a lot from last year. You look at Syracuse, they lost their star quarterback, who, of course, went to the NFL. And when you look at Tennessee, my question mark would be Aguilar is learning his third offense in 1 year. He had to do the App State offense and the UCLA offense, now the Tennessee offense. They also lose their top running back from last year, a couple of their top receivers, and a good portion of their offensive line. So I think both offenses have question marks. Now, I do not have any question marks on Tennessee's defense. I think they have a large edge defensively. I also think they have a large edge on special teams. If you check out my special teams rankings in front of the magazine, big edge to Tennessee. And I think they'll have the crowd edge as well. While there's going to be a lot of orange, I think there's going to be more Vol orange than there will Syracuse. So I think with the crowd, the defense, and the special teams, I'm willing to lay the 13.5 here. I'll take Tennessee.
All right, a couple more here before we break, and we'll get into the evening games and, of course, the Sunday, Monday games as well. But, Phil, I am not a root for the conference guy. I would love to see Florida State pull an upset that would have the whole college football world buzzing. Not sure that's going to happen. The Noles that lines up to 14.5 now. Bama favored on the road in Tallahassee. Can Florida State keep it close?
I like the Tide here. Now, keep in mind, I've got Florida State, my number one most improved team in the country. So I think you're going to see Florida State go from 2 wins to maybe 8, potentially 9 wins this year. This ain't one of them. When you look at Alabama, if you go back to last year with Alabama, I think there was Saban players on the team and DeBoer players on the team, and maybe they didn't mesh. This year when the transfer portal opened, nobody left. They're all back practically, and all the units rank in my top 10 in the front of the magazine. I'm talking running backs, receivers, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, DBs, loaded with NFL talent throughout. And then Ty Simpson, he was my number 3 rated quarterback coming out of high school. He's been at Alabama now in his 3rd year there. Looked great in the Manning Passing Academy. It might be a better fit for the Alabama offense than was Jalen Milroe. They bring in Ryan Grubb as the offensive coordinator. Coming over, we had great success with DeBoer at Washington, getting all the way to the national championship game. So add it all up, I got Bama by more than 2 touchdowns in this one. But I think Florida State, after this game, will be a much improved team this year. They're just taking on the wrong opponent at the wrong time.
Phil, do you know offhand what Florida State's projected win total is if someone wants to play that for the season long?
I believe it was 7.5.
Okay, so you like the over.
I like the over on Florida State. Yes, okay. I think they are my number one most improved team.
Okay. One more here before we break. A G5 who could crash the playoff party is Tulane, right down the street from us. Northwestern of the Big Ten going down to Tulane to play this game in Uptown New Orleans. The Wave, a 4.5-point favorite. This could be a pretty nice statement win against a Power 4 team if Tulane can get it. Does John Sumrall's team get that big win?
Yeah, that number's really been coming down too, hasn't it? I think it opened up at 7, and is now you're saying it's all the way down to 4.5. Wow,
that's what I'm showing right now. Yeah.
Yeah, when you look at Tulane, I think John Sumrall's doing a tremendous job there. Last year, at one point, they were dominant. They were a money machine for me. I was winning with Tulane each week, and they were just blowing out opponents. Then they had the conference clinched when they played Memphis. They were already going to play Army in the title game. They lost that game. Then they lost to Army, and with a depleted team, lost the bowl game. But I think when you look at Tulane, they're the favorites to win the American this year. They look solid. Sumrall's done a great job building them. They're going to be tough. But, Northwestern's a good team as well. Northwestern had a good defense last year. Their problem was they just didn't have an offense, couldn't really throw the ball. But they bring in Preston Stone from SMU, and I think that's a big-time addition. In fact, David Braun feels for the first time in a long time they've got themselves probably their best offense in maybe 12 years that they've had there. Last year, they were the lowest-scoring P4 offense in the nation. So with Preston Stone coming in, they've got a couple of guys on the offensive line who are NFL prospects, and Caleb Turner at left tackle and Evan Bernstein at right guard. The defense is solid. I think it's going to be a great game. So I'm taking the points in that one, and an upset wouldn't surprise me. But I do think Tulane's in for a really good year.
PhilSteele.com, STEELE, PhilSteele.com. Make sure you get to YouTube, take that Phil Steele Plus tour. We're going to knock out a quick break, get to the afternoon, evening games, and, of course, the big one with LSU and Clemson when we continue with Phil Steele. We're live from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. Don't you move.
AFR.
River City's 1 hour air where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001 or 1hourbr.com. You know where to find them. The weekend is here. It's a college football weekend, and this may feel like a holiday to you and me and all of us, but it's still 100 degrees outside. And if you got an issue with your AC, it doesn't matter that it's a Friday night or a Saturday or a Sunday. River City's 1 Hour Air, they're always on call, and they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. So you have issues while you're watching. You got a big game watch party Saturday night for LSU Clemson. You wake up Saturday morning and your AC's blowing hot. No worries. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. They will be out on Saturday. Big yellow vans and trucks all over town. You see them everywhere because everybody trusts River City's 1 Hour Air just like I do. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
We came up with the idea of auctions in August. Gulf Coast Bank does all the work. We display the item, we prominently feature it in social media, on our website, but we do it because it's the right thing to do for the community.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Week 1 is here. We're previewing all the games with Phil Steele. Of course, philsteele.com. Get to YouTube. Take the Phil Steele Plus tour. Love these conversations we've been able to have for so many years every Friday with Phil Steele previewing the biggest games across the college football landscape. Phil, let's go out west. A team without a home, Oregon State. They're getting Cal in Corvallis. That's Cal of the noted ACC opponent, Cal, who's heading up to Oregon State in Corvallis. The Beavs, a 1.5-point favorite in Corvallis at home. How do you see it there in the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah, spread's nice and cheap for this one. And when you look at Oregon State, I thought last year their head coach Trent Bray was in his first year, had a really inexperienced team, just one starter back on D, 4 on offense. And he came into the season saying playoffs or bust. We're going to make the playoffs this year. They opened up 4-1. Their only loss to Oregon. Looked good. Then things started going south. They lost late loss to Nevada, late loss to UNLV, and then their season turned south. Well, this year, much more experienced team. The goals are more reasonable, and I think he learned a little bit in his second year. They bring in Malik Murphy from Duke, and I like this talent Oregon State has. Now, they had been one of the best home favorites in college football. Last year, they were just 4-3 at home, and 1-3 as a home favorite. But I think they get back to that level, which is dominant at home. You got the chainsaws going on third down when they're playing. And Cal's a rebuilt team this year. They lost a lot of players to the transfer portal, lost a lot of players to the transfer portal after spring practice was over. Oregon State playing with a little bit of revenge. While Cal beat them 44-7 last year, I think Oregon State turns the tables and very happy. We're laying less than 3 points in this game. I like the Beavers to win the game.
All right. Phil taking Oregon State at home. Another one out west, and this is a big one with Utah, who was very disappointing a year ago, looking for a bounce back, heading to the Rose Bowl to take on UCLA. This is a 10 o'clock Central Time kick, so it's a late-night Fox game, which is fantastic because we just get football all day and night. But Utah at UCLA, where the Utes are a 6.5-point road choice.
Yeah, and I've got Utah as one of the favorites to win the Big 12. I think they bounce back and live up to the expectations they had last year. Remember last year, it was will Cam Rising play, won't he play? And heck, by the end of the year, they were down to a fifth-string quarterback starting their final two games. Well, this year when I talked to Coach Whittingham, went over the squad with him, he said that he feels this is the best offensive line he's had in 21 years. And Matt, he's had some pretty good offensive lines. And also defense, there's never a question with Utah. Quarterback, they bring in Devin Dampier coming in from New Mexico, along with New Mexico's offensive coordinator. And I think if you added up all the individual pieces New Mexico had on offense last year, no way do they average what they did. They were much more potent. So I think Dampier's got a better supporting cast than he had at New Mexico last year, and they look pretty good. Now, UCLA's not going to be easy. I think UCLA's an underrated team. You look at who they lost to early last year. They lost to Indiana, playoff team, at LSU. That's not a bad loss. Oregon at home, playoff team. At Penn State, playoff team. They opened up 1-5 playing a brutal schedule, then played better down the stretch. But I still think Utah's the better team, and I think the Utes travel well when they play here in L.A., so I think Utah's going to make up a good portion of the crowd. I like Utah to get this one by over a touchdown.
Phil, when LSU played UCLA in the Rose Bowl a couple of years back in 2021, and we went and made that trip, one of the things we learned is UCLA students aren't even back yet at that point. So you're probably right. That should be a pretty heavy Utah crowd at the Rose Bowl on Saturday night. We'll come back to LSU Clemson to wrap, but let me ask you about the two games on Sunday, and we'll start with Virginia Tech, South Carolina. The Gamecocks, a lot of hype around Lenora Sellers. Can they build on a 9-win season? 7.5-point favorite, the Gamecocks over Virginia Tech. Is this a big win in Atlanta for Shane Beamer's squad to kick off the season?
Yeah, I like Virginia Tech to keep it closer than expected. When you look at the two teams, if I'm Kyron Drones, Virginia Tech's quarterback, he's sort of similar to Sellers in a lot of respects. And he's not getting any of the pub. It's all Lenora Sellers. So I think he's probably itching to have a good game here. And plus, when you look at South Carolina, while Lenora Sellers is back, I thought the strength of South Carolina last year was their defensive front seven. They were just absolutely dominant at times. And now they lose 6 of their 7 guys from up front. I think they'll be less dominant with the defensive front seven. Virginia Tech underachieved last year and had a lot of close losses. I think they're capable of keeping this one under a touchdown. I do like South Carolina to get the game, but maybe by a field goal or so. So I think Virginia Tech plus the points is the play there.
Especially with that hook. Love that 7.5 if you're going to take it.
Yeah.
I get it now. Okay, Notre Dame, Miami, the old Catholics versus convicts reunion here, Phil. It's a true home game for Miami there at South Beach at Hard Rock Stadium. Notre Dame, a 2.5-point favorite. Phil, it's a top 10 matchup. Man, lots of new, especially at quarterback with both Miami and Notre Dame. The Irish favorite on the road. They got the right team favored?
I think so. And, you go back to last year, Notre Dame played in a lot of big games, won against a lot of ranked teams, advanced all the way to the championship game. And, heck, you wonder what it would have been like in the championship game had they not been down their top defensive lineman, their top offensive lineman, and their top running back only had, 3 carries for 2 yards in the game. He was all banged up. It was a banged-up Notre Dame that lost to Ohio State. Well, they're fully healthy for this. They've added in C.J. Carr, a quarterback, and Carr doesn't have to go out and win this game by himself. They got my number 3 rated offensive line, number 2 set of running backs in the country, so they're a very strong team there. Defensively, they got one of the better defenses in the country. And if you look at Miami last year, they won some close games where Cam Ward led them to late wins and big comebacks. And also, they didn't defeat a single ranked team last year. Now, I think Cristobal's doing a great job building Miami of Florida, like the talent level. I think they're an ACC title contender. I just think Notre Dame's a step above and have played in the bigger games and won the bigger games. So I'm going with the Irish. And once again, the spreads are very important. When you're laying less than a field goal, you basically just have to win the game.
Phil Steele at Phil Steele 042. After our appetizer, our entree, dessert, maybe a little after dinner drink is what we're going to get on Monday with TCU at North Carolina. The Horned Frogs are a 3.5-point road favorite in Chapel Hill. Bill Belichick's debut. Curious what you're thinking about Belichick's debut there on a Monday night in Chapel Hill.
I'm going to let you pick this one, Matt, because I'm just going to sit back with some popcorn and see what the heck Bill Belichick puts on the field, because he's got 70 new players. He is a hell of a head coach. Yeah. You wonder how quickly he gets these guys together. But if anybody can, it's Belichick, right? I do think TCU is probably the better team. But, I mean, you got Belichick at home getting 3.5 with pretty good roster. I like Gio Lopez, the quarterback. Who do you like in this game, Matt?
I'm not betting against Bill Belichick. No way. I mean, you give Belichick 3.5 at home, 3 and hook at home. Yes, I think the greatest coach ever will probably find a way to win his home opener there at North Carolina. Knowing not an eighth about either of those rosters that you do, I'll side with home field advantage and the greatest coach ever.
And what's interesting here, Matt, is that if you look at North Carolina's schedule, they actually have one of the best schedules in the ACC. They avoid almost all the big boys. They do play Clemson, but they play the majority of the bottom teams in the league. So whoever gave North Carolina the schedule must have been a Belichick fan. And I think North Carolina's got the potential, if they win this game, to get to 9 or 10 wins this year.
All right, Phil, before you get out of here, it's the game we've been talking about here for darn near a year now, certainly for 9 months, ever since LSU beat Baylor in the bowl game. It's been all about LSU and Clemson. The battle of the Death Valleys, however you want to phrase it. LSU's lost 5 straight openers. Clemson's lost their last 2 openers, 2 fifth-year senior quarter. All the storylines we've talked about. It's time to tee it up, kick it off, and play the game. How do you see it Saturday night in Clemson, South Carolina, with Clemson as right now a 3.5-point favorite over LSU?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to be a great game. You have 2 of the premier teams in the country, and boy, the winner really sets themselves up well. When I look at this matchup, Matt, I think defensively I'm going to give a slight edge to Clemson. You just have too much NFL talent on that side of the ball. They bring in Tom Allen as the defensive coordinator. And when you look at last year, they gave up 374 yards per game. I think they're going to be much improved there. Quarterbacks, I'd rate them even. Receiving cores, very close as well. Offensive line, I'm going to give the edge to Clemson. They've got more experience returning. In fact, they're my number 2 rated offensive line in the country. When you look at LSU, they lost a lot of offensive linemen to the NFL, and you wonder a little bit about the replacements, especially in a first road start. So that would be a question for me. So add it all up, I'm just really bullish on Clemson. So I'm going to lean with Clemson in this one. However, I will say this. If LSU wins this game, holy cow, look out the rest of the year, because they'll be favored over Florida. They'll be favored at Ole Miss all the way through. At Alabama should be a big game. But LSU all of a sudden becomes a legitimate top 5 team right out of the box if they pull off the upset here. Probably a top 3 team because Clemson's right up there.
Phil, do you have a feel on the total in this game?
I do not.
Okay.
I mean, I could make a case maybe a little bit for the over in the fact that if I was to see a weakness in the Clemson defense, it might be at safety. And LSU's got so much speed at receiver. You got 2 veteran quarterbacks. What is the total on the game, Matt?
It's gone up to 50. It was at 56.5. It's at 57.5 last I checked. I'm looking to see if there's an updated number. Man, if that keeps climbing, I'm with you. I think both these defenses are going to be really good. I might thinking a lean toward the under, but that's what I was asking if you had a strong feel one way or another on it.
We'll go with Matt's lean on that one. 57. Yeah, I see 57.5. We'll let you pick that one, Matt.
Phil, it's our pleasure, man. I love being able to do this, and I love being able to push people toward your YouTube channel and PhilSteele.com and the Phil Steele Plus Tour, and of course the Phil Steele magazine, which is the Bible that everybody who loves college football reads every single year. It's a rite of passage from the off season into fall camp. So, what do people need to know right now about the Phil Steele Plus Tour?
Oh, I appreciate that, Matt. Real quick with the magazine, get it before it's sold out at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Those are the only two locations you can get it. 360 pages, like getting 136 media guides rolled into one. Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Now, the Phil Steele Plus Tour is up right now. It's got some selections up for you. Did very well last year, and we'll have it up each and every week and on Thursdays. And also this year, Matt, you look at LSU in the fourth game of the season, they're playing Southeastern. I actually have 2 full pages on every FCS team in my digital FCS magazine, which is available right now at philsteele.com.
philsteele.com, STEELE, philsteele.com. By the way, the Phil Steele Plus Tour, the video link is embedded right there on the homepage. So it'll link you to the tour on YouTube. But trust me when I tell you, watch the video, subscribe to Phil's channel, set notifications, because as soon as that thing goes live, people are going to bet it and lines will move. So it's important to get on the Phil Steele Plus Tour early. So make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and hit the bell so you're notified whenever Phil posts a video there. Phil, we're looking forward to doing this every Friday, man. It's our pleasure to have you. Thanks so much for the time. Enjoy the football this weekend.
Hey, Matt, always great talking to you, my friend. Have yourself a great weekend.
You do the same. We'll do it again next week. He is the one and only Phil Steele. This is After Further Review. We are live today from Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. Show's brought to you by Pinhook Bourbon. Y'all come on by, smoke you a cigar, get you a wonderful craft cocktail made with Pinhook Bourbon, or drink it neat rocks. Experience what they have to offer. Go to pinhookbourbon.com, pinhookbourbon.com, or find it at great local retailers near you. We're here at Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by our friends at Pinhook Bourbon. We'll knock out a quick break, wrap up hour number 1. Our tailgate segment returns next on AFR.
AFR.
We are 1 week away from the first home football Friday of the 2025 season. And that means that the LSU Tigers will relocate from football ops on campus to football ops at Renaissance Baton Rouge. That's right. The home away from home for every home game for LSU football is Renaissance Baton Rouge. I say it often, but it's true. If Renaissance Baton Rouge could host the entire LSU football program the Friday before a home game, don't you think they could host whatever event you've got coming up? It's Renaissance Baton Rouge. Right there on Bluebonnet, across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row. You got family, friends, relatives, whatever it may be, co-workers, colleagues coming in from out of town for a football game. Make sure they book at Renaissance Baton Rouge. Always a great spot to pop in, experience Tallulah inside of Renaissance Baton Rouge. And if you got an event coming up, best place to host it is at Renaissance Baton Rouge.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Pearl Jam, and the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our...
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. At LSU, we play hard, but we tailgate harder. Light your burner, fire up the grill. It's time for our Football Friday tailgate recipe of the week with Chris's Specialty Foods. 4 locations, or go to chrisspecialtyfoods.com.
Wrapping up hour number 1 from Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. We may be out of studio, but Coben found us. You better believe it. It's the first Football Friday, and we got our Football Friday tailgate segment courtesy of Chris's. How are you, man?
Good, brother. I'm glad to be back another year. Let's get it going.
I am glad to have you back. All right, so the Tigers are playing the Tigers. Normally we do like the eat the competition thing. I don't know how we're eating Tigers. We don't want to eat our own. So what did you cook up for us today?
Yeah, absolutely. I put together a little platter. We'll save the best for last. We'll start right here with our crawfish bread. We have a French-style crawfish bread that we toast, and we do a spinach and crawfish and cheese topping. It's really good.
Look at this, man. That is so heavy, too. That's cheese, crawfish,
cream
spinach.
cheese, a bunch of cheese, and then a spinach and crawfish topping makes a great appetizer.
Oh, my God. Really appetizer. Coben, I could eat one of these is a meal, man. How heavy that is. That ain't no appetizer, bro.
And yeah, next we got our crawfish boudin. If you love crawfish étouffée, it's the same thing. We just put it in sausage casing. Get you some of that. And then next we have our jalapeno chicken sausage. And then we saved our best for last. We have something actually called tiger sausage. It's obviously not tiger meat. It is a spicy pork sausage with hot sauce, Worcestershire, and cheddar cheese. You throw that on the smoker. If you love spicy, it's unbelievable.
Do they eat tiger anywhere in the world?
I don't know. I hope not.
We think that would be a little gamey, maybe?
Yes, yeah, just a little.
Okay. Can confirm the crawfish bread is awesome. And I cheated because before we came on, I had a piece of tiger sausage. So I intermittent fast, not to bore everybody, but this is the first bite of food I've had all day. So maybe the tiger sausage tasted awesome because it's the first bite of food I've had all day, or maybe it's really that freaking good. What is tiger sausage? What is this?
Yeah, so it's our...
I went with this is spicy mustard?
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's one of our most popular sausage. It's a pork sausage, and then we once we grind it all together, we add Cajun hot sauce, shredded cheddar cheese, Worcestershire, and we chop up fresh jalapenos and throw that in there, so it's got a good kick to it.
Man, it's got. So is the spice from the mustard or from the sausage?
It would be from the sausage. It's
okay.
It's a little bit on the spicy side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hot sauce and chopped up jalapenos in there.
Got it, man. So I thought maybe that spice was coming from that mustard, but no, it's from the
sausage.
The sausage. That's fantastic. I'll try the other one too. This what is this again?
That's crawfish boudin. So if you like crawfish, Louisiana crawfish étouffée, we make that, and then we put it into sausage casing, shoot it, so you don't have to all the prep time of crawfish étouffée. You have it already cooked.
I love it, dude. And so I was telling you, that looks almost like a sushi roll.
Yes, it's very light color with our crawfish roux, and it's very good.
It looks awesome, man. Chris's Specialty Foods, chrisspecialtyfoods.com is where you can go to the website. Locations, menus, And you told me also this year y'all are doing, y'all are delivering to tailgates?
Yeah. So if times and everything works out, you can call into our Highland location, and we will be bringing hot, fresh food to some tailgates this year for home games. So if everything works out, timing and everything, we will be delivering to tailgates on campus.
Is it too early to start talking about, I know, holiday orders and stuff? Are we early for that?
No, it's getting that time, especially there's always a shortage of turkeys and everything. We have already started that and taking orders. Any beef orders, turkey orders, sides orders, we are already getting planned for that.
And then what about deer processing?
Yep, absolutely. Deer season starts in Louisiana October 1st. We plan on doing almost 1,000 deer again this year. So all locations will be taking in deer.
So we got a month, but you can bring the deer, and then y'all take care of everything.
Yep, everything will be done in-house.
It's at Chris's Specialty Foods, 4 locations. Again, you go to the website at chrisspecialtyfoods.com, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. Which of these pairs best with Pinhook bourbon?
For this week, let's go with the tiger sausage.
If you want to go, if you want to offset the spice of the tiger sausage, I don't know, well, rye tends to be spicier. Maybe you want to go with the cask strength bourbon, match power with power right there.
There we go.
I love the option right there. Of course, this is the Core 3 of Pinhook. They're sponsoring our show here today at Don Juan Cigar Bar, so come hang out with us here at Don Juan. And Coben's going to leave this platter, so if you're lucky, before everybody just gorges on this thing and it's gone, you can sample some of this as well. All right, man. We got about a minute. LSU at Clemson. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah. I think first game of the year, I think offenses are going to be a little slow. I don't think they're going to come out clicking. If LSU offensive line can hold up versus Clemson's stud defensive line, I think we'll be all right. I'm going to go 28-24. LSU. I think it's going to come down to the last drive, and I think our defense is going to come through and win us the football game.
And I would love to see it. By the way, spoken like a guy that moonlights as a high school football coach as well. Elijah Haven, he doesn't stink.
No, he's pretty special to watch on Fridays.
Yeah, man. He gets an up-close and personal view over there with the Dunham School. Coben Linedecker from over at Chris's. Of course, love the Highland location. That's basically where Terrio eats lunch every day. I got to see
every day, yeah.
Trust me, I know. It's close to the parish office. We're in there a lot. All right, chrisspecialtyfoods.com, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. It's our tailgate segment, courtesy of Chris's. Appreciate you, Coben.
Absolutely.
We'll do this
Thank you, Matt.
Well, of course, we'll do it all throughout the football season. It is after further review. We are here at Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center, courtesy of Pinhook Bourbon. Y'all come on by, see us over here at Don Juan. Get you a pour of Pinhook Bourbon, maybe a craft cocktail. Hour 2 coming up next.
AFR.
Love telling you about our friends over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Y'all, football season is here. Of course, if you are going to be watching the game tomorrow at your house with LSU and Clemson, remember our friends over at Rouse's are helping you all football season long. They like to say they're covering the spread. So if you need your beer, if you need your wine, if you need your bourbon, like Pinhook Bourbon, go get it over at Rouse's. They have everything you need, from something to throw on the grill to all of your desserts to the floral arrangements for your centerpieces. It's at Rouse's. And, of course, if you're making groceries with your mom and them, they've been helping you make groceries for 65 years over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Y'all, football season is here. If you need whatever for football season, or if you just need to go check off that grocery list, our friends at Rouse's have got you covered. So download the Rouse's app or go to Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, Rouse's. This feels like home.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always. No paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Much like Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said last night, head coach Brian Schottenheimer today told reporters the trade of star edge rusher Micah Parsons to Green Bay was a unanimous decision. Schottenheimer called him a great player, but added this is the ultimate team game. They're not going to win a world championship with just one player. The line has moved a couple of times today for one of the most talked about matchups in college football in years. Number 1, Texas. Number 3, Ohio State. OSU, a 1.5-point favorite at ESPN Bet in a game tomorrow that will be a great test for the Buckeyes, notes their coach, Ryan Day.
Extremely excited to play in this game. I mean, Texas is excellent. You know, they're super talented. They're very well coached. I think Sark does a great job. I think their coaches do a great job. Certainly, Arch is a tremendous player, and they have great players in all three phases. But you know, for us, week one, to get some real feedback on where we are to kind of start our journey into this season is going to be tremendous.
Florida suspended baseball coach Kevin O'Sullivan the first 3 games of the 2026 regular season for his profane tirade directed at site administrators during an NCAA regional in June.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR Live from Don Juan Cigar Bar and presented by our friends at Pin Hook Bourbon. Pete Fiutak of College Football News. He'll be with us here in about 15 minutes from right now. We will have our celebrity guest picker next hour, and I'm telling you, we are straight bringing 2019 LSU Clemson energy here to Don Juan Cigar Bar, and I can't wait for that in 1 hour from right now. Also, former Gator, SEC Network, Chris Doering will be with us in hour 3. We'll talk a little bit about the rest of the SEC slate, and we're fired up to have you aboard with us here. The New Orleans Saints do have the day off today in that sort of bonus week that the NFL has started instituting between the end of the third preseason game and week one. Remember, it used to be 4 weeks of the preseason. In eliminating that fourth preseason game and adding a regular season game, they just took that fourth preseason game and moved an extra week to the end of the season. They didn't compress the schedule. So this is just a bonus week where teams get a couple of practices, a week to maybe heal up some injuries and get ready for week one. So the Saints aren't practicing. They'll take the weekend. They'll start their game week preparation next week for Arizona. And if you missed it, we talked about it yesterday. The Arizona Cardinals are a 6.5-point favorite over the New Orleans Saints next Sunday in the Dome. Muse looked up the numbers for us yesterday. A year ago in the NFL, there were 9 games the entire season. 9 the entire season that were the spread in the NFL was a touchdown or more. Now, this is a half a point under a touchdown in fairness, but just for context. And the first wasn't until week 10 last year. The Saints are a 6.5-point home underdog to Arizona. That should give you some context on what the expectations are for this New Orleans Saints team. And the greatest New Orleans Saint of all time, Drew Brees, was on Sports Talk with Mike Detillier and Steve Geller on Thursday. And he's eternally optimistic. And I love that about Drew Brees. But this is also why Drew Brees could never be a legitimate analyst, because he is, God love him, he's incapable of looking at truth involving this team. Like, for example, this was Drew Brees talking about the Saints offense, and he mentions the New Orleans Saints offensive line. Give a listen.
Look, offensively, we have as good an offensive line as anybody in the league. We have explosive receivers outside. We've got one of the most dynamic running backs in the league. You'd say, really, hey, the thing you're waiting to see is how does the quarterback position perform, right? For guys that are just young and don't have a lot of experience.
Muse, can I hear just the beginning of that clip again in case you missed it again? This is Drew Brees, who's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame next year, who is the greatest New Orleans Saint of all time and in the conversation for the greatest athlete having the greatest impact in the history of Louisiana sports. This was Drew Brees talking about the New Orleans Saints.
We have as good an offensive line as anybody in the league.
Okay, that's all. I agree wholeheartedly that the New Orleans Saints have invested more in their offensive line than any other team in the league. You've got 4 first-round draft picks tied up in this offensive line with Cesar Ruiz, Trevor Penning, Taliesin Fuaga, and now Kelvin Banks as well, who, by the way, I am very excited about Kelvin Banks and the possibilities there. But we're talking about a guy at right guard in Cesar Ruiz, who's a former first-round draft pick, who last year in 2020, in the 2024 season, his offensive grade was a 72.6. This year in the preseason, in 2 preseason games, his grade was a 48.7. Trevor Penning has been now in his 3rd year in the NFL in 3 different positions, I guess you could say, or fourth year in 4 different positions. Injured left tackle, right tackle a year ago, now left guard. The Saints did not pick up his 5th-year option, and rightfully so, because he hasn't proven he can be a quality, capable starting NFL offensive lineman. That's your left guard, so you have arguably the worst guard tandem in the NFL. I do like your young tackles very, very much. I think Fuaga and Kelvin Banks could ultimately be very good players, and Eric McCoy, when healthy, is among the top centers in the NFL. He certainly, I would say, he's in the top 10 among the starting centers in the NFL. But last year, he played, it was just a real challenge for Eric McCoy a year ago to stay on the field. And so what do you make of that with a guy that didn't play much for you a year ago? I mean, we could pick apart the rest of the Saints team, but you could start right there when you look at this offensive line, which has so much invested in it, that I don't think anybody would look at Ruiz as a quality starting offensive lineman. He's probably the lowest rated starter among offensive guards in the NFL. And then Penning, if he's healthy coming off the toe injury, is trying to work his way back to it. Listen, you can take my word, my opinion for it. For whatever it's worth, ESPN did their position rankings. They went through and looked at every position and ranked every position group 1 to 32 in the NFL heading into this year. And the New Orleans Saints offensive line, they don't have it as the worst, but they have it 22nd out of 32. So they're ranking the New Orleans Saints offensive line as a unit 10 from the bottom, in the bottom half of the league. I mean, Bree says that they're as good as anybody. Really? When you look at the Eagles with Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, we're going to sit here and compare that? I mean, I'm not just trying to sit here every day and dogpile on this team. I'm just trying to hammer into people's brains before they tee it up and kick it off and play it for real what the reality is going to be for this team. And I'm telling you straight up, when we start talking about games, you are going to hear my tone change from overtly critical to what are the positives that we're trying to glean from what's going to be an ugly season. Because what I am hopeful for, and I'll repeat this again, I am not expecting this team to win a lot of games. I think they're a 5-win team at best, and I may have to recalibrate that considering the Saints are going to be a touchdown dog at home against Arizona. But what I am wanting to see is Kelvin Banks prove he can be your franchise left tackle. I'm wanting to see Brian Brzee assert himself now in his third season as a true, legitimate impact interior defensive lineman. I'm wanting to see that Kool-Aid McKinstry proves he's ready to be a starting NFL corner on the boundary. Do you have young safety talent with Jordan Howard and Jonas Senker? Can those guys be that? What about Quincy Riley? Is Danny Stutzman ready to prove that he's the heir apparent to DeMario Davis? Stutzman looked great in the preseason, but when you play him for real and for keeps in the regular season, it's a different speed. How does that translate? Those are the types of things I'm excited. Are we finally ready to see Kendre Miller prove he could be an impact guy on Sundays? Those are the things that I'm going to be looking for come September 7th when they play Arizona. Not wins and losses. But that's the thing that I am trying right now. I'm trying to stress for everyone that listens to the show on any given day is to understand what should be a realistic expectation. Like, it is great to wrap yourself in black and gold and shout hoot at and be excited about a season coming and all this stuff, but you got to be realistic. Because what I don't want to hear is this team goes on a 6-game losing streak, fire Kellen Moore, the quarterbacks suck, they draft terrible. Like, they're going to be bad. It's where they have reset the franchise. You've got 2 young tackles. You're going to have a quarterback that's never won a game, a rookie head coach, an aging defense, and a whole bunch of young players that are trying to get experience. And I'm excited about those young players trying to get experience. But you got to be realistic about what they are. And what they are as a team that ain't going to win very much. We're brought to you by Evermore, EVAMOR, Evermore.com, Evermore.com. Drink Evermore, y'all. We're on location here at Don Juan Cigar Bar, and I got my Evermore right here with us. You better believe it. Take it everywhere I go. I drink a couple of those a day. Those are the big 64-ounce bottles. Drink 2 of those a day, 128 ounces of water. I'm telling you, you'll feel awesome. Keep your body hydrated with a natural product, natural artesian water from Evermore, EVAMOR, Evermore.com. That's EVAMOR, Evermore.com. Pick it up at local retailers. Order it online. If they don't have it at your favorite local retailer, ask the manager why not. It's Evermore, EVAMOR, Evermore.com. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're here at Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. I love Pinhook Bourbon. I have talked about Pinhook for years now. I've drank Pinhook probably since 2018 is when I was introduced to Pinhook. Their core 3 offerings are the bourbon, the rye, and the cask strength bourbon. The stories behind it are great. They are master blenders. Their master blender, as a matter of fact, lives in New Orleans, which is another really cool thing there. The horses on the labels are sketches of actual horses, which is really cool. I mean, you could end up drinking a whiskey with a horse on the label that's running in the Kentucky Derby, because they pick the 2 top horses in their stables each year as they go along. So there's a cool story associated with it, and the juice is exquisite. It's Pinhook. Ask for it at your great local retailers or watering holes, or come by Don Juan Cigar Bar here today. They've got them open. They're pouring samples and making craft cocktails as well. It's Pinhook Bourbon sponsoring our shows here today at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Pinhookbourbon.com and follow them on social. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. We talked plenty about LSU Clemson already. Want to look at the national landscape here in week one. Our buddy Pete Fiutak from College Football News will be here to talk about the biggest games outside of the SEC. And Chris Doering will be here in hour 3 to talk some of the biggest games in the league. We'll get to that as we continue here on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. And get your billboard designs ready. It's the 3rd annual Gordon McKernan Injury Attorney Billboard Design Competition. You can win up to $2,000 in prizes. You could have a donation made to the charity of your choice. And, of course, the opportunity to see your billboard somewhere around town. It's the Get Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys Billboard Design Contest. It's easy. You can go to the website, getgordon.com/billboards, getgordon.com/billboards. You can go see all the rules to enter, how you enter there, and it's also linked on all their social media. So go to @GetGordon on any social media platform, @GetGordon for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, the Billboard competition. Of course, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 30 years. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
when he left Notre Dame, that was a big freaking deal. And he kind of made some comments, he couldn't get the players and he couldn't win the games at Notre Dame like he could at LSU. And, he kind of felt like he's right. LSU, last 3 head coaches, all won national championships. It's year 4. Notre Dame just played for a national title last year. I think the pressure is only even higher. Not pressure in that he could lose his job, but pressure in that he needs to perform and needs to step up. And he's even talked about it, how much they've put on this opener.
That's Dusty Dvoracek, who was on with Amber and Ian talking about the pressure on Brian Kelly. Our buddy Pete Fiutak, College Football News, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here to look at Week 1 across the landscape. He's on Twitter at Pete Fiutak. Y'all give him a follow. Pete, it's a pleasure, man. Thanks for making time. How are you? Oh, we need to call Pete. All right, we'll call Pete. Do you have the number? Okay. That is a fumble on our behalf. We had to call Pete here on site. Didn't do it, so we're going to do that now. I'm just going to call Pete Fiutak to give us here a quick second. That actually is a good opportunity for me to catch up on a live read, so we can make sure we get to Pete in a sec. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor. ParishRestoration.com. ParishRestoration.com. No matter where you are in the state of Louisiana, our friends at Parish Restoration will come to you from your home to commercial buildings. If you want to knock out mold, maybe you got odor from smoke, water intrusion, mold, pets, they can help at Parish Restoration. Patented, non-toxic dry fog. Just go to ParishRestoration.com. That's ParishRestoration.com for Parish Restoration. Okay, now Pete Fiutak is with us. Pete, we appreciate the time, man. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. How you doing?
Man, it's week 1 of college football. I'm doing fantastic. When we were bringing you on, we played a soundbite about the pressure that's on Brian Kelly, perceived or otherwise. From a national landscape, what do you think is on the line from a perception standpoint for Brian Kelly in this game against Clemson?
A lot. I mean, he's a great football coach. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but, he, I think, is underappreciated just how good he is at this football coaching thing. I mean, he's still the all-time winningest Notre Dame head coach. Again, everybody at Notre Dame lets the thunder dunk on him whenever something bad happens. He's been very, very good at LSU, but obviously not being able to get into the college football playoffs yet and not playing and winning SEC championships is not exactly why you got him there. So this is one of those games where, Clemson's very good. It's not the Clemson of the last of, the Trevor Lawrence era. It's a 50-50 game that can absolutely go, the Clemson way. If this is in LSU, I think LSU wins because it's a better team. But, yeah, it would do a huge, huge good for him to finally get LSU to win a season opener again for the first time in a while.
Did you say you think LSU has the better team than Clemson?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look. Clemson has more experience. LSU has more talent. So it's, everyone knows Klubnik, but Nussmeier is probably the better pro quarterback. The lines on LSU, at least talent-wise, are a little bit better. And, remember, again, this is not Clemson when you had Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins in the center of those defensive fronts. It's a very good team. It's a very experienced team. But, again, there's a reason why they got bounced in the first round of the playoffs. There's a reason why, they struggled against South Carolina at the end of last year. It's a very good team, but LSU, talent-wise, should be better. It's just not quite as experienced.
Do you have a pick on the game?
I'm going to go sheepishly Clemson just because it's at home.
Sure.
It's just, again, if it's in Baton Rouge, I'm going LSU. It is such a tight game. It'll be fun. I mean, I don't mean to dog Clemson. They're really good. But this is just, if week 1, you want the more experience, it's probably going to be a little more helpful because it does take a little more time. It would be really nice if LSU had a warm-up game before this.
Yes.
But I'm very, 51-49% going Clemson on this.
Yeah, I think you and I are probably on the same wavelength right now. Even if this was week 3, week 5, I might feel differently about it. But it's just such a tough ask out the chute. Same for Texas and Ohio State, a rematch of the national semifinal a year ago. We know the quarterbacks are different. What else is different, Pete, that's consequential from the game we saw in January?
Oh, the defensive line for Ohio State. And just look, it's Ohio State. You're replacing 5-star NFL guys with future 5-star NFL guys, but you lose Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator, to Penn State. And there's a reason why Ohio State was – I mean, look, I'm not that point. It was not that hard to see that Ohio State was going to win the national championship from last February. They had everyone back. They were all this NFL talent. When they get to mindset, they turn into a different animal of a team. And now you got all these young guys who are just starting out. They got a couple guys in the mix up front there who get their turn. Again, it's Ohio State. You're not going to have a drop-off in talent level. But really, it's that Ohio State defense being way different than it was before. And like you alluded to, you have the quarterback. Look, everyone, Arch Manning is the presumptive number 1 overall draft pick. Quinn Ewers is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he never got enough love and credit because he's not Arch. But he's the one who did the heavy lifting last season. Arch got the start against Texas San Antonio and Louisiana Monroe. And boy, Ohio State, this goes for Notre Dame, the CJ Carr. It goes for Georgia to a certain extent. It goes for several big-name teams this year. Ohio State better be right on doing things because all these top programs could have had Carson Beck. They could have had Nico Yamayama. They could have had any transfer they want. But their internal scouting is saying that our guy is going to be better than any of those transfers out there. So saying it better be good. Ty Simpson had better be the real deal for Bama. And Carr better light up. But in this game, that's gonna be everyone's gonna be focusing on Arch, but really it's Julian Saint has got to come through and be good.
I know you mentioned Carr as well there. That's another one I wanted to ask you about. Pete Fiutak is with us. That Notre Dame-Miami game is fascinating because it does feature 2 transfer quarterbacks, right? Pete, it's a different era where there's different ways to go about doing this, and those are 2 programs that continue to lean on transfer quarterbacks. So I guess the 10,000-foot view is, what do you think of Notre Dame going to Miami? It's a top 10 matchup, but again, there's so much new there that I'm not sure what to make of either of these teams.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I think Carr's homegrown. I think he's a Notre Dame guy, but he might have transferred, but he's never started before. But obviously Carson Beck is experienced, and I can't wait to see him because I think it's been one of the most underappreciated aspects of this offseason when you don't have the superstar quarterbacks return. You have Klubnik, who's fine. You have Drew Aller, who's fine. But remember, going into last year, there were a lot of people out there who had Carson Beck as the possible number 1 overall draft pick coming off of a fantastic season in 2023. Now he's got a better receiving core than he had last year at Georgia. There's no Brock Bowers there, but they do have great tight ends in Miami. And if Beck can kind of regain that he might be that difference where if he lights up Notre Dame, which I don't think he will, the Notre Dame defense is great, but if he has a really good game, they pull off the win, national narrative is going to be like, oh, yeah, that guy. And, again, you better be right, Marcus Freeman. He's on the circuit, doing all the Today Show stuff. He's the new superstar. He's an awesome guy, awesome head coach. He's everything we want in college coach. But talent evaluation, he's got to nail this one, or else if Beck lights him up and Carr is just okay, everyone's going to be like, wait a minute, you could have had Carson Beck. He chose to do this. So, real fun game. Real interesting to see how this one's going to shake out.
Yeah, man, especially, the last 2 years with Sam Hartman, Riley Leonard, the success seemingly they had with transfers than to go the route they did. Pete Fiutak's with us for a couple more minutes, college football news. Hey, Pete, there's a handful of really, really tasty matchups in opening weekend, and then there's a lot of just teams easing into their schedule. Is there a game off the beaten path that for whatever reason you're curious how it plays out?
Yeah, I'm trying to think off the top of my head of all the big ones. We're going to kind of lose sight a little bit of South Carolina, Virginia Tech, because it's going to come right before the Notre Dame game. But that's going to be really fascinating just because is Lenora Sellers really going to be the big deal? And if he is, and South Carolina's good, they should pretty much, have no problem against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's okay, not great. They're going to hang around, make this interesting. I want to see just how good South Carolina is. And the other team, basically in general, I want to see all the Big 12 teams. I'm really curious in this North Carolina TCU game. Because if you look at North Carolina's schedule, they get Clemson at home, and that's it. They miss everybody. They miss Miami. They miss SMU. They miss Georgia Tech. They miss Louisville. They miss everybody else, and miss Notre Dame and that sort of deal that they have. They miss everybody else from the ACC. So if they can get by TCU, who everyone kind of loses sight of, they won 9 games last year and they come back better. If they can beat this TCU team, and we're going to be talking about North Carolina in mid-November as a possible CFP team, only because that schedule is just not that bad. And on the flip side, TCU, again, 9-win team last year, comes back even stronger. It's such a coin flip all the way around the TCU, the Big 12 this year. I really want to see what this Horned Frog team can do because, hey, look, they're the ones that had to play Coach Prime in the first game with Dion.
Yeah.
And now they get this with Belichick. So let's see if they've made a couple of changes because they gave away that game against Colorado. Let's see if they can if you guys handle things a little differently this time around with this circuit.
Pete, just to clarify, so you said you think North Carolina could be in that CFP conversation because of the schedule.
Not because they're great.
Of course. Yeah. So how? And I understand what you're saying, but how? Not knowing anything about North Carolina's talent, is that an Indiana situation of a year ago where the record is pristine because they just haven't played a ranked team, or do you think they might actually be able to develop into a good team that can be nationally competitive?
Yeah, I'll actually push back. Indiana played a pretty good. Everyone forgets that Indiana played the 2 teams that played in the national championship the year before. And they did beat Michigan. They did beat Washington. They thunder dunked on Nebraska. And they did what you're supposed to do against the schedule. That they didn't have that many top games. They certainly didn't have any big games in non-conference play. But they obliterated everybody. And they weren't awful in the big games that they lost. So I think Indiana, as crazy as it sounds, considering Signetti is such a strong head coach and they brought over all this talent from James Madison, that was a far more talented team than it got credit for. It's better than this North Carolina team is.
Peter, and not to be combative, but it's the thing about Indiana. I guess the point is they played one ranked team all year and they lost by double digits to Ohio State. If they played,
I think it's pretty good.
Sure. If Indiana had played, flip a schedule with LSU or Alabama a season ago, or Ohio State or Oregon, that's probably not an 11-1 football team. I think is the point. But you think that'd have been 11-1?
Well, I don't know about 11-1, but they did beat the Michigan team that beat a pretty fully functional all-there Alabama team. So,
listen, man, you ain't gonna hear no argument from me about Alabama. I don't mean to miss the Indiana here.
You're right. But that goes for everybody. You look across, look at this year. Let me throw up. Look at Penn State's non-conference schedule. They're not playing at Texas. They're not playing. So there are all sorts of teams out there that you could say, okay, well, that. I do agree, and I'm not going to actually go the SEC route. I would actually go, like you said, more like the Oregon route. The SEC last year was not nearly as good. They lost a lot of non-conference games. I'm not going to just assume that last year. But, there are teams like that. That's the new world. The new world where you have 18 Big Ten teams, so many SEC teams. It really is about who you play and who you don't play. Like SMU last year, they missed Miami and Clemson in the regular season. It's unfortunate, and that's why I hope that, to your point, that the College Football Playoff Committee really does adhere to the new guidelines that they're setting, which they kind of did before, but they always fell back on the schedule and the win. Because let's take it, for example, if Texas loses to Ohio State, they could absolutely lose at Georgia late in the season. And then if they lose a good fight against a stronger Oklahoma team and go 9-3, well, the College Football Playoff era, no team that had fewer than 10 regular season wins would have made a 12-team playoff unless they won their conference championship. So, you're going to say, okay, 9-3 Texas, you lost at Ohio State, at Georgia, and by a field goal to Oklahoma, but we're going to put in this 10-win or 11-win team, like you said, that did not play a schedule. Maybe like it as it turned out in Indiana or in SMU.
Yeah.
I hope they do kind of do a little more critical thinking than that. But last year, again, I didn't have a problem with Indiana last year. I had more of a problem with SMU and the way they did it with Boise State getting a 3 seed. They seem to have fixed that glitch a little bit.
Hope so. Look, man, I'll see you. I'll see it when I believe it. I'm a doubting Thomas on the committee. History has proven they will find the path of least resistance, and that's just whoever has the best record, because then you don't have to have difficult conversations like 9-3 Alabama, 9-3 South Carolina, 9-3 Ole Miss, all thinking that they're worthy, and then there's 11-1 Indiana put them in.
unfortunately, if they did this right, and I am with you, they shouldn't have even been able to watch the college football playoff. Unfortunately, if they did that right, the way that they select teams, Alabama should have been in and SMU should have been out.
We could make we could have so many conversations about it. The best way to do it is like, let's just have a big old expanded playoff. And I know I feel like I'm on an island in that, man, but hopefully we continue trending that way. But tomorrow is the first gigantic step toward it. Make sure you're reading about it over at collegefootballnews.com. Collegefootballnews.com. He is Pete Fiutak. Get him on Twitter as well, at Pete Fiutak. Pete, I always enjoy the convos, man. Hopefully we get to do this many more times during the season.
Hey, go Tigers, Bayou version.
I was about to say, man, that's a cop-out right there, just saying go Tigers. But he clarified. We appreciate it, man. That's Pete Fiutak. All right, it's After Further Review. Great stuff. Me, Chris Marlar on site. Muse and Paulie will do What to Watch when we come back. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
AFR is brought to you by Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics. As they often say, innovation in action. ActionIndinc.com. That's the website. ActionIndinc.com for Action Industries Incorporated. Our friends over at Action Industries, for 43 years, they have served the petrochemical refinery markets here in South Louisiana. Of course, we know what that industry means for our state's economy. And Action Industries, I love that they know who they are. Listen, there are some amazing mega contractors that do these $200 million jobs. That's not Action Industries. If you've hired that mega contractor to do your 100-person job and feel like you're not getting their best, that's where you need to find Action Industries, because that is their sweet spot. You get all of their best people. They can even supplement your mega project. So learn more online about Action Industries and the Advanced Turnaround Group. It's Action Industries, innovation in action.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
We came up with the idea of auctions in August. Gulf Coast Bank does all the work. We display the item, we prominently feature it in social media, on our website.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Football team on both sides of the ball, similar to us in a lot of ways, and they've got elite quarterback play, elite skill, and they got dudes in the trenches on both sides. So it's a very similar team as far as just the makeup. So.
Dabo talking about the similarities with LSU and Clemson, and they are similar. It's something we've talked about quite a bit here, actually. The similarities between the two teams, however, how they are comprised. One primarily via the portal, one a bunch of dudes that were recruited there and stayed there. We'll see what wins out on Saturday night. Every Thursday, typically during the season, we do What to Watch. Muse, we're going to have to stand because you're being blocked by three. But don't stand yet because now your head just went out of the shot. Yeah, well. Muse, Paulie, and let Alondra know whenever you zoom out, Alondra, tell us when we can stand. Because, look, you're being blocked by three bottles, as I assumed.
I can stand now?
Okay, we'll stand now.
What do I do with my hands?
Don't do that. Okay. Just don't do that. Calm down. Take a breath. You're going to be fine, I promise. Chris Marler, of course, our SEC writer for LouisianaSports.net. Muse and Paulie back in studio. Every Thursday, typically, we do What to Watch. But being that there is no NFL game here this week, we're going to do it on Friday. And Marler's here, so we'll get him on the fun as well. All right, Muse, hit us with the music, if you would, our What to Watch music.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
Back on my game, dude. It's what's the old cliche? It's week one for everybody.
That's right.
It's week one for the radio host too. All right, three things that we are watching. Muse, start us off.
All right, yeah. Started here in a few hours over in Waco, Texas. Auburn and Baylor. Really, this is mainly for year 3 for Hugh Freeze. I mean, years 1 and 2 obviously have not gone the way they want. He should have the offense in the place that he wants it, though. Jackson Arnold coming over from Oklahoma. Obviously, the wide receiving core that they have. Looks like Singleton is going to play. Freeze mentioned that on the teleconference earlier in the week. Baylor, that defense with Dave Aranda, how do they match up with Auburn's offense? And Hugh Freeze, man, he has got to get off to a good start in year number 3, or they're going to be coming for him pretty loud over there on the Plains.
All right, Paulie, number 2. Guys, we are going to have to go with a little more pace here because we have 4 of us. That's 12 things. We do not have a minute for each explanation. I'm not good at math, but I'm better than that. So, Paulie, number 1, fire away.
All right, I'll be quick here. I'm watching the nightcap Sunday, Notre Dame and Miami. Notre Dame looks to bounce back after the disappointing end of the season in the national title game. CJ Carr has been named the starting quarterback at Notre Dame, and Carson Beck making his Miami Hurricanes debut.
All right, Chris Marler, our SEC writer for LouisianaSports.net, joining us on site here at Don Juan Cigar Bar. You're first. What to watch?
Well, Musso stole most of mine, so I'm not happy about that. I will say this. I think Ty Simpson, in a torrential downpour, which seems to be the theme every time Alabama goes to the state of Florida, will they walk out unscathed? Ty Simpson not able to throw the ball around a lot in that rain. I wonder what that looks like, replacing Jalen Miller, your favorite quarterback from a season ago.
He stinks.
Yeah.
A very good athlete, very bad quarterback. It's probably addition by subtraction there in Tuscaloosa, which probably isn't even saying much. All right, my first. Do you know who the betting favorite was among the G5 to be a playoff contender?
Boise State.
What happened to them yesterday?
Oh, they lost by a lot.
By a lot. You know who the second highest betting favorite was?
I would say James Madison.
No, it's Tulane, as a matter of fact. And Tulane hosts Northwestern on Saturday in Uptown New Orleans. The Wave could get a Big Ten non-conference win and set themselves a sail on a potential playoff berth. How about that? Muse, number 2.
Ohio State and Texas, the quarterbacks. Which first-time starter, right? I know Arch has 2. Which of them handles the hype better, Sayan or Arch Manning? That's what we're looking for there.
Paulie, number 2.
All right, I'm going to go with Bryce Underwood in his Michigan debut. He was announced as the starter. Many LSU fans will be watching, most in spite, but some watching, wondering what could have been, whether it'd be good or bad. So can Bryce Underwood turn Michigan around in just his freshman season?
I'm going to go to Kentucky.
I'm going to be hate watching so hard on that one. I'm going to be hate watching. But really week 2 when they go to Oklahoma, I'm not going to cheer for you in anything ever because I don't cheer for the conference. but Oklahoma better just pile drive Bryce Underwood. Okay,
Yeah,
anyway,
that's
you're
fair.
number 2 in Marlin.
It's a game that no one's going to watch because I'm pretty sure it's on at the same time as LSU Clemson, so I'm not going to watch it either. But I will watch the highlights of it. Does Mark Stoops start his season on the hot seat or even make out of this game? They played Toledo, the Rockets, right? Toledo went down to Starkville last year, won by 24. This Kentucky team, I think, is the worst team in the entire conference, and I don't think it's super close, even though Zach Calzada, famous for one thing 4 years ago. We're not going to get into it. But I wonder what that
Alabama,
looks like.
by the way.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
That was tough. But I
was
think
great.
them going at home against a team that a lot of people, by the way, they have more top 25 votes in the AP poll, the preseason one, over Baylor and Auburn.
You can read about that game, by the way, with Chris's pick on winning and boozing at LouisianaSports.net. You should go read it. It's a great feature. My second is Joey Aguilar's debut for Tennessee. They were a playoff team a year ago. We know the Nico storyline. It's Tennessee, Syracuse, a lot of ugly orange in Atlanta. But this is kind of one of those where you look and go, all right, man, you didn't pay up for Nico. Was it worth it? And you'll find out in relatively short order, because if you struggle in this game, you know there's much tougher games down the line, being a 2-touchdown favorite. They're at a neutral site against Syracuse. Muse, third and final.
Sunday afternoon, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, the Gamecock hype train. Is there a noticeable jump year one from year two for Lenore Sellers? And then how does their defense look, replacing all that they had to at really each level?
Paulie, third and final.
I'm going to go Monday, watching TCU, North Carolina, the Bill Belichick debut. We all know the whole situation. His college debut. Could this be a Deion situation where he turns the program around quickly, or could this thing turn into a circus where more people are paying more attention to his relationship over football?
Okay. Marler.
Third and final?
Third and final, please.
Musso, again, you stole all mine. So I'm not going to talk about South Carolina. I'm not going to talk about Baylor, even though marrying a Auburn grad over here at Dunlop. I know, right? She's very excited, very, very nervous right now. Very big Auburn fans in the house tonight. That line moved 3 points, by the way.
Marler, did you not hear me say we had like 30 seconds?
Yeah, he did say that. That's my bad.
Come on.
I'll piggyback off what Paul said. And Deion, I want to see what they look like without Travis Hunter, without Shadur Sanders. They're playing my former hometown, Georgia Tech.
Who do you think wins that game?
I think Georgia Tech does. 4.5 on the road, though, out in Boulders is kind of interesting.
Isn't that odd?
Yeah, but I love Haynes King. And I love Buster Faulkner, from a Parkview High School graduate.
My third, speaking of new beginnings, my third is Rich Rod.
Oh, yeah.
But if for the college football loving world this went over your head, Rich Rod is once again the coach at West Virginia. Right. They're playing Robert Morris. I know Robert Morris one time beat Kentucky in a basketball game. Yeah. NIT, first round NIT
they
game,
played, I think Alabama last year in the tournament.
I don't care. But Robert Moore, anyway, I don't think that I'm looking for West Virginia's a 38.5 point favorite, but Rich Rod, what does this look like back there? I think that's pretty fascinating. We'll see. All right, that's what to watch. That's what we're watching. Of course, you watch the college football weekend. Marler's here with us on site. Give me a thought on LSU and Clemson before we break.
So I think Hunt Palmer, our esteemed colleague, I thought he brought the best point that anyone's made so far going into this game, which is a lot of people expect to be an offensive shootout. I saw Lee Sterling had the 37-27 pick. I think it's way too many points. I think this LSU defense is way better than people think, and I think they are good at every single level. I still think this LSU team ends up being much better in November and December than right now. Where does it take the longest to gel? That's the offensive line. So I think it's a close loss, but I think it's also a really, really good game. It's a defensive low-scoring game.
Everybody come to Don Juan and heckle Chris Marler in person. He just moved here, and he just picked Clemson to beat LSU.
For LSU.
It's okay, man. I promise. It's going to be fine. Anyway, we're here at Don Juan Cigar Bar. You hanging out for a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Y'all come on by. Don Juan in Town Center. Great spot. Have a cigar. Grab you a Pinhook bourbon. They're pouring samples behind me. They've got craft cocktails as well. So come by, hang out here at Don Juan Cigar Bar. We're taking you all the way until 6 o'clock tonight. We got our celebrity guest picker in 15 minutes. Right now, we're bringing some 2019 LSU vibes in here. He's sitting at the bar in an LSU shirt.
Okay.
That guy.
Okay.
I can't wait for this, too. It's going to be so good, I promise.
I almost wear the same shirt.
It's going to be so good, I promise. All right, we'll knock out a quick break, come back. Buse New Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2. Stay here. It's AFR presented by Pinhook Bourbon from Don Juan Cigar Bar.
After further review.
Got to take 60 seconds to remind you about Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, Seagoneer Airline, LA 16 and Denham, Mid-City on Don Moore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. I tell you every day to buy local and shop local. The weekend is here. You're going to be binging on football, and I don't blame you at all. But if you want to check off those honeydews on Saturday before LSU plays, get on by Clegg's Nursery because they got everything you need. Everything you need at Clegg's Nursery. Yes. If you want to go plant that vegetable garden, they got that. They have all your gardening tools as well, mulch, soil, bag, bulk, but they also got things like contractor bags and floodlights and a lot of things that you find at your hardware store you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So support great local retailers that have supported our community for 6 decades. It's Clegg's Nursery. Get by any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
One, just being the leader, representing LSU, representing my teammates the right way. And, now representing 18 the correct way. But also, when you play football and you play quarterback at LSU, you got weapons. All the past quarterbacks have, and all the future quarterbacks will. And so, just being a distributor of the football, giving the guys chances to make plays, putting the ball in playmakers' hands. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just, doing my job, doing my responsibility, and giving those guys chances to make plays.
Wrapping up hour number 2, we're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Garrett Nussmeier lead the charge, LSU, into Clemson, South Carolina. Don't mind if I do. The esteemed Clay Young here doing the honors, courtesy of Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars. These are fantastic. One of the many, many offerings you'll find here at Don Juan Cigar Bar and Don Juan next door Don Juan next door, of course, the retail shop that has the largest humidor in the state of Louisiana. If you've never been to Don Juan, why not? Come watch Auburn and Baylor tonight. We appreciate so much our friends at Pinhook Bourbon who are presenting our show here today at Don Juan Cigar Bar. They've got their core three, as they call it, their bourbon, their rye, and their cask strength bourbon. Neat. Rocks in a cocktail. Laurel's got a Pinhook Old Fashioned that's on the featured menu today. They're pouring up samples. If you're knocking off of work, go into your football weekend the right way. Come here to Don Juan, have a cigar. I'm gonna light up this LSU Tiger National Championship cigar in hour number 3 when our celebrity guest picker is here as well to bring some 2019 vibes to this 2025 LSU football season. Right now, Musso as Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, some NFL transactions to get to from the week. On Thursday, the 49ers re-signed wide receiver Russell Gage. They had originally released him. Remember, at the very end of training camp, he ended up with a slight injury to his leg. It was only going to keep him out 7 to 10 days. So once he's back, they have re-signed him. It's a one-year deal for Russell Gage. The Philadelphia Eagles signed Terrace Marshall to their practice squad. He had been in training camp with them. They waived him, cleared waivers, now on the practice squad. Same thing happened in Chicago with Mekhi Garner. He spent training camp with the Bears, was waived, now is back. Best of luck to those three as they continue their professional career. Aaron Nola was on the bump a night ago. Much better outing for him. 6 innings, just 4 earned runs. He punched out 4, got the win, his 3rd of the seasons, and the Phillies absolutely put it on the Atlanta Braves. Sorry, Paul. Paul's giving me the stink eye over here in studio. Angel Reese, monster double-double for her a night ago for the Chicago Sky. 32 minutes in a starting role, 15 points, about 20 rebounds for Angel Reese. Doing it big over in the WNBA. Her team lost again, though. They're not very good. They only have 9 wins on the season, but 15 and 20 for Angel. That's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You know where to find them with 10 locations. It's like Goldilocks. I say it all the time. It's just right. You got big old box stores that are impersonal with not as great a selection. You can go to the boutique, which, you know, you're talking about higher prices and a lower selection. You go to Lee Michaels. They got 10 stores. They've got the buying power to give you not only great prices, but a great selection. If they don't have what you want, they'll find it. If they can't find it, they'll make it. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, if you're thinking of popping the question, start there. lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, we're put a button here on hour number 2 of AFR. Live from Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We got a 1 hour to go. No Terrio, but we do have our celebrity guest picker. 2019 vibes in the house. When we come back right after SportsCenter, we'll pick the biggest games of the college football weekend. Our buddy Chris Doering of the SEC Network will be here as well coming up in hour number 3. We're looking forward to that conversation to preview the rest of the SEC weekend ahead. And it is 20 years since Hurricane Katrina. We'll pay tribute coming up in hour 3.
AFR.
Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com windows door siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do shutters as well. But you ask Brandon Holly or anyone associated with that business, and they're always going to tell you the same thing. What's their number one product? They're going to tell you it's customer service. It's the thing that Brandon Holly, who is one of the, when you talk about integrity, he is one of the people I know in my life that is at the top of that list. And it's not a catchphrase. It's not a line. It is what is inherently at the core of what makes him an amazing man, person, husband, father, business owner. He wants to do right by people. And you will understand that. It's not just about selling you windows. It's the privilege of being welcomed into your home to help your family in your home. They're the best. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, They've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parrishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
While Louisiana politics can seem like they're from another planet, Moon Griffon isn't afraid to bring politicians back down to earth. Listen to the Moon Griffon Show weekday mornings at 9 on Talk 107.3.
We came up with the idea of auctions in August. Gulf Coast Bank does all the work. We display the item, we prominently feature it in social media, on our website, but we do it because it's the right thing to do for the community.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Cowboys today held their first practice since the stunning trade of star pass rusher Micah Parsons to Green Bay. Coach Brian Schottenheimer shared the same sentiment that owner Jerry Jones said yesterday. The trade was a unanimous decision by the front office and coaching staff. Schottenheimer added that the goal in Dallas does remain the same: to win a world championship. For the much-anticipated Week 1 showdown tomorrow between top-ranked Texas and number 3 Ohio State, the Buckeyes, again, are a 1.5-point favorite at ESPN Bet. It's just the latest movement this week in the point spread for the game. Yahoo Sports contributor Andy Backstrom explains why.
I think that what you're seeing is preseason polls and preseason expectations and preseason lines moving. So we really don't know exactly what's going to happen. I don't expect a blowout. I know some pundits have suggested that might happen, but I really think this will be one of those one-score games going down to the fourth quarter.
Andy Backstrom on Joe and Q. Padres shortstop Xander Bogaerts put on the injured list with a foot fracture. San Diego's two back of the NL West leading Dodgers and holds the second NL wildcard spot.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR live from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. We are here at Don Juan, 1 hour to go until we set you off into your football weekend. Been an awesome show already. Phil Steele was here. Pete Fiutak was here. We got our buddy Chris Doering coming up in about 15 minutes from right now as well. But as we kick off hour number 3, there is no Terrio today. Macy Terrio, for the first time in her collegiate career, is running in a track meet for LSU, which is insane and awesome, by the way. So I told Ryan he was not welcome on the show today. He had to go watch his daughter run track. This was not even debatable. But it is still a Football Friday. It is still time to do our college football pick'em segment, which we do to start hour 3 every Football Friday. And I thought, what better way with LSU playing Clemson, not to bring in a former Clemson Tiger, but to bring in a former Tiger who helped LSU polish off the greatest season in the history of the entire freaking sport in beating the hell out of those Clemson Tigers. Zach Von Rosenberg bringing the 2019 LSU energy to Don Juan Cigar Bar. What up, my dude?
I appreciate you having me. I'm excited to be here.
My guy is wearing an LSU Hawaiian shirt, the national champions Hawaiian shirt.
Shout out T-Bob.
And he also brought his 2019 national championship ring here on site. We are bringing all of the good vibes here on a Football Friday edition from Don Juan Cigar Bar. You got your cigar lit. I'm going to go ahead and light up my Bocock LSU championship cigar as well. This is foreshadowing for what is coming in Clemson, South Carolina, in, as Chris Marler would say, Temu Death Valley, which I love that, by the way. I love that line a lot. Dude, how are you? Thank you for coming, first of all. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying life outside of football. I do miss it. Who wouldn't? But, you know, I'm here at national champion. The last time we played Clemson, we won. So, naturally, I'm glad I got albeit a last-minute invite, I'm glad to be here because I think we're going to beat Clemson again here tomorrow.
We're going to get to predictions for LSU and Clemson as part of a part of the segment in just a smidge. Tell people what you are doing right now in life. I mean, we all know, your story. Zachary, great baseball player, went pro after the pro baseball career, come back, you walk on at LSU. I remember talking to you, man, and there was some thought of maybe trying your hand at quarterback again. Punting ended up being the way, and man, you end up being part of the greatest team ever. So what are you up to now?
I currently sell lightweight aggregate for Arcosa. If you need it, you're going to buy it from me, but it's a very niche market. It's mostly backfill jobs and concrete. If it gets internal curing approved for the state of Louisiana, we'll be in all the concrete here in the state. But it's boring for the people listening. I think we should talk football.
Hey man, we'll talk football. It is the way we do this, Zach. 10 games. 10 best games in college football of the week. We just pick winners, no spread. So we'll go through that in just a quick second. But I got to start, though. Give me some 2019 vibes that Clemson week. Like, it's the game that polished off the greatest season ever. What's your go-to story about that week, that game, whatever, when you go back to that moment 6 years ago? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
So the story actually applies to two different games, to Oklahoma and to Clemson. Clemson was a bigger team than Oklahoma, but I remember the guys when we would meet and do like the both teams meeting together and have dinner or whatever it may be. Our guys were laughing at their team, specifically Oklahoma more, but we did the same thing. I remember Caleb Von Chasson, some of the guys on our D, really, I don't want to say being mocking, but basically said, look how small that dude is on the other team. And I'm just like, dude, they're sitting 6 feet from us, man. They can hear you. And Clemson is definitely not going to be undersized this year, in my opinion, but that was something I knew and I took away from 2019. Like, man, we got a team. If you're willing to laugh at a guy across from you when you take a snap every down, that's something special, and you got a hell of a team behind you.
I don't think you needed to wait until that moment, though, to know that 2019 was a hell of a team.
No, I didn't. I knew after Texas we were a great team. I just knew, and this is my personal opinion, I may have been overconfident going into the national championship because personally the only team that I thought had a chance to beat us that year was Auburn because they just put a stop to our offense. That was really the only threat to that whole season that I felt like we were going to lose. Potentially. We obviously didn't. We won 23-20, but every other game besides that one, I really didn't have any fear that we were going to lose again.
was interesting, that Auburn game too, Zach, because that's a game where the LSU defense overwhelmed Auburn's offense for the bulk of that game. When you had to rely on defense to win that game, it was there. It was there for that 2019 team. I'm glad you brought up Texas, because this does have a similar vibe to it. True road game. I can't remember, but I think y'all might have been a slight underdog in that game. It was close, similar to this one here. But that team in 2019, you had the warm-up game against Georgia State. One of the
Georgia State.
Georgia State. And so it was that opportunity first. How important was that game to have the opener before you went to Texas? Do you think it matters that this team doesn't have that?
I do think it is important just to kind of get the rust off, to get things in rhythm. However, I prefer playing games like this out the gate because you find out who you are very quickly. And, albeit we didn't get our warm-up game that we would like to have, I do think we will be prepared, especially with Brian Kelly being 0-3 in starting matchups. And fun fact, Clemson was 0-3 last year against SEC teams. So you have a streak right there that's going to end. I did come prepared, but no, I know that it's going to be a big game, and we'll be prepared. And Brian Kelly's going to come out with his hair on fire because he needs a win.
The interesting thing about Clemson, they did lose. They played 3 SEC teams a year ago, lost all 3, Georgia, South Carolina, Texas. And Clemson's also lost its last 2 openers. They lost last year to Georgia, 2 years ago to Duke. So that's actually been a conversation they've been having as well, as the struggles in losing the last 2 openers. So a lot of synergies here in these 2 teams. We'll get to that pick here in just a second. But let's start it off. Muse, hit the music if you would. This is how we do it. By the way, we're going to need an official ruling here, okay, with what to do with Terrio. So Terrio always says that I cheat and I give him zeros when he no-shows, okay? Now, I'm okay with him not being here today. Like, he's watching his daughter run track for LSU, her first ever track meet. Yes, like, you're going to that. But I sent him Zach, I'll show you the text. I texted Terrio the games earlier today at 1:32 p.m. You can confirm.
No response.
It's this, right?
Yeah, it's
It
blank.
is this sheet of paper. It's the games. 1:32 p.m. He's had almost 4 hours to reply, and I got no reply. So, like, do we give him a 0? Does he wear the collar? Because what's going to happen now, Zach, is he's going to see our picks, and he can pick based upon what we see.
Unfortunately, you got to give him a 0 because he gets to see what we're doing.
Whoo! All right, Terrio. That's 2 against you, bruh. Just here to say. All right, right out the chute. Auburn at Baylor. That game kicks off here tonight, just in a couple of hours. A big one for Hugh Freeze in the opener, going to Waco. True road game. Zach, you get to start us off. Who wins and why?
I got Baylor. Dave Aranda comes out, and they come out balling. They score 40 points. I think it's a high-scoring game, and I think he gets it done.
High-scoring game. Interesting. I'm with you on Baylor. It's interesting. Auburn was favored just as this afternoon has played out. Baylor money is coming. That's flipped. Now, Baylor is a slight favorite in that game at home. I agree. I do like the Baylor Bears, mostly just because I'm not sold on Jackson Arnold. He may end up being like the narrative last year at Oklahoma was all the receivers were hurt. That's why the offense stunk. Okay. Now you get a chance to prove it because Auburn has arguably the best receiving core in the country. I mean, they're in the conversation. Cam Coleman's outstanding. They went to the transfer portal. Like, there are no excuses. Like, if you can't do it now, then it's a Jackson Arnold problem. We'll start to get that answer tonight, but I'm with you. I do like Baylor to win at home. Another one tonight, Georgia Tech at Colorado. The Colorado era post-Shadur Sanders begins. The Buffs and the Jackets. Who do you like?
I think they lost too many guys. I think Georgia Tech comes out and wins this one. I think they lost Shadur and they lost their was he number 2 or number 3 overall? I can't remember off the top of my head, but regardless, they lost their best players and they got to reload. But I do think Georgia Tech takes it.
I'm with you with the Yellow Jackets. True road game here in Boulder, Colorado. Night game. Georgia Tech's got to go across the country to play it, but I'm with you. I do like Georgia Tech. Haynes King, veteran quarterback, give the edge to Georgia Tech there to go into Boulder and get a win. The big one, a big 11 a.m. kickoff with Texas at Ohio State. Preseason number 1 versus number 2. Who you got?
Only because they're at home. If this is a neutral field, I'm probably picking Texas, but because it's at Ohio State, I got Ohio State.
So I always have an issue with teams that lose 14 guys. Like, a great example is that 2019 team. You get 14 guys drafted. You're going to feel that the next year. That's what Ohio State has to deal with. But the portal era does help minimize that impact a little bit because you can go get key guys out of the portal. I don't know what to expect from Julian Sayin at quarterback. I don't know what to expect from Arch Manning in his first major start like this. When I have a coin flip game, I usually look at two things. I look at coaching, and then I look coach, quarterback, venue were the three things. If quarterback's a push, coach, I mean, Ryan Day's won a national championship. Sark hasn't. Venue, it's at Ohio State. I give a slight lean to Ohio State, so I'm going with the Buckeyes at home. You had the Buckeyes as well?
3 for 3, yep.
All right, Zach and I are thinking alike. This one probably shouldn't take very long. Tennessee, Syracuse, neutral site game in Atlanta.
Tennessee. I just think Tennessee's too much for them. I think Syracuse might stick around through halftime. All Tennessee in the second half.
Tennessee defense wins this one. I think it's an easy win. It's a 13.5-point spread. I'm not touching the line in this game, but I think Tennessee, because of their defense, wins and wins easily. Bama at Florida State.
Bama, Florida State has too much, to overcome. They're really trying to rebuild, and it's just been tough for them. I do think they're a historic program, and they will make a comeback, but I don't think it's this year. I think it's Bama all the way.
Same feeling that I have about the Tennessee game. I don't trust Alabama's offense with Ty Simpson. I don't care that Ryan Grubb is there. I think Bama's going to win. Again, I'm not touching the point spread, but this is more of a Bama's defense being able to travel and limit Florida State offensively with a quarterback from Boston College and Thomas Castellanos that I don't think is going to be great. This is a game I think Bama wins, but bro, I've been saying this all offseason. Hey, Bama, don't you go lose this game. You go down to Tallahassee and lose this game, I swear to you, as sure as I'm standing right here, Monday, somehow, some way, your boy's going to find his fat behind on a white horse dressed up like Chief Osceola throwing a flaming spear in the ground. You better believe an epic Bama is burning with me riding a white horse is happening on Monday if y'all lose this game. Don't you go mess up and lose this game, Alabama. All right, Utah at UCLA, former conference mates, now a Big 12, Pac-12, Big 12, Big 10 matchup, Utah at UCLA.
I think it's a low-scoring game, but I think Utah wins. I really do. I just think UCLA, they've had too much controversy at quarterback, some weird stuff going on there. Don't need to get into it, but I think Utah takes it. We're on a roll here.
I'm going Utah as well. The Nico era at UCLA begins. Remember, LSU fans got to experience this a few years back in 2021. UCLA students aren't on campus yet. And so that is going to be a ghost town in the Rose Bowl, except for Utah fans wearing red who are going to go to that stadium and cheer on this team. I think it's a big bounce back here for Kyle Whittingham. They were favored to win the league last year and finished last. A disaster of a season, big bounce back for Utah. I think the Nico era at UCLA starts off with a dud. We'll move into Sunday, Virginia Tech, South Carolina neutral site in Atlanta.
South Carolina, and the bias is just the SEC bias. I know Virginia Tech has a good team, and they're supposed to have a good team, but it's the SEC bias speaking to me. I think South Carolina wins.
I think the quarterbacks in this game are actually comparable. I think the talent defensively for South Carolina on the defensive line was their big edge. I am not a believer in Carolina. I think they're a 5-loss. I think they're a 7-5 football team this year, but I do think they are a better team than Virginia Tech, and I think South Carolina will win that neutral site opener. But I do think Carolina is a 7-5 football team this year. I think we're finally going to disagree on one, Zach.
Finally.
Catholics versus convicts reimagine. Notre Dame at Miami Sunday night.
I think Miami loses 3 games this year, but not this one. I think they take it. I think Miami wins, and I think they win handily. And I just have that gut feeling. I think they win by 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Wouldn't hate to see it. But, we're going to see if C.J. Carr is the real deal at Notre Dame. I look at Miami, again, went back into the portal. I look at Carson Beck as a guy that made so many bad decisions. I don't care about the arm talent. Lots of guys have arm talent. You got to be able to play the position. His inability to make good decisions at Georgia, I think, hamstrung that offense a year ago. I don't think that translates. My goodness, Miami had the number 2 total offense in the country. It was Miami and Syracuse. I'm trying to think which one was 1, which one was 2, but they were right there. So you got a system that works. I don't know that you have the driver behind the wheel to make that thing go. I do think Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, all the talent defensively, Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame, and maybe with Jeremiah Love, the best running back in the country, arguably, go into South Beach and get that win. I like the Irish. All right, 2 more. Bill Belichick's debut. They play TCU in Chapel Hill.
They get smoked. TCU all the way. Just think there's been too much this offseason. I don't want to bring in Bill Belichick's girlfriend, but it's been a little bit strange picking TCU, and you may be, we're deferring again, but I got TCU.
I'm going North Carolina. You're going to give me the greatest coach of all time to find a way to win a game in his home opener when that stadium in Chapel Hill is going to be going bonkers for it. Yeah, in the same way that Coach Prime won his debut against TCU 3 years ago, I think Bill Belichick gets it done game one against TCU there in Chapel Hill. All right, I know which way you're going. Tigers versus Tigers, LSU versus Clemson. Who wins and why?
I'm going to be honest with you. I was very negative about this game until a couple of days ago when, Dabo Swinney came out against AJ Haulcy and got him essentially banned from the first half. And I sense fear. I smell blood in the water. So naturally, I'm picking LSU. And just because of that issue, I'm going to pick LSU 41-20. 41-20 is the score, which LSU, we beat them 42-25, and it's a similar score, right?
You should have gone with the same score.
I should. You know what? I should have. You know what? We're going 40. Yes, exactly right. We're doing the same score. Why not? I think we game stays close till third quarter. I think we take over in the fourth. We got to avoid 3rd and 7s for Nuss. Nuss can't do it all himself. I think our O-line has to win this game. They have to come out and play. Brian Kelly has said that he trusts our O-line. He believes in our O-line, and he's seen a lot of good O-line at Notre Dame, and I believe in them. And if he has made all these commitments and to say we made adjustments, we've gone out and got people in the portal, I really think we're going to win, and I think we're going to win handily.
You had an opportunity right there when you said 3rd and 7. You could have said 3rd and...
Was it 12?
3rd and 17.
17, that's
you
right.
You had an opportunity right there. The epic play that set that 2019, that lit the fuse. Burrow to Jets, 3rd and 17 for the score. Broke Matthew McConaughey's heart, and LSU is off and running toward an undefeated season in the national championship. This guy was part of that special run. Zach Von Rosenberg, brother, thank you so much, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. A national champion. He's going to leave the ring here for me to take home. We appreciate that sincerely from Zach. All right, I'm just kidding.
No,
all right, we're here.
You can have it for the night.
We're here for the night. We're here. I wonder what that would get me if I walked around and told people like I was a walk-on the team. Yeah, man, I played college football 6 years ago.
I think
Zach Von Rosenberg did it as a 38-year-old, right?
I was easy. I was 30. I was 30. Yeah, 29 that year. 29.
It's after further review. We're going to knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Our buddy Chris Doering of the SEC Network will join us. It's a Friday edition of AFR, live from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon, and glad you're hanging out. Don't you move here. It's AFR.
AFR.
All right, I want you to do this if you haven't done it yet. If you own a home and you're curious the value of your home, I want you to go to agent225.com. I'm explaining in a second. So Darren James, of course, the #1 realtor in the state of Louisiana. Wall Street Journal's Real Trends list, the top 1% of realtors in America. He's on that list. And you're talking about the top 1% of realtors in the entire country. Darren James, number 17 in the country. Darren, they just redesigned agent225.com. Go to the homepage, agent225.com, agent225.com. Doesn't matter where you live, by the way. Type in your property. This will take you 30 seconds. Type in your property address where it says home value, and you will get in literally less than 30 seconds from the time you type up agent225, just as quickly as you can type your address, you'll get your property value right there. How much is your home worth? Then you can start that conversation. Do you want to sell? Is it time? What equity do you have in there? Do it today. It's agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
We are live today from Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. You ain't tried Pinhook Bourbon. Get on by Don Juan today. Hang out with us, smoke you a cigar, get you a cocktail, enjoy some Pinhook Bourbon, or learn more at pinhookbourbon.com. SEC weekend is upon us. Chris Doering, SEC Network, former Gator great. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. CD, great to chat, man. How are you?
Matty, I'm doing great, man. Good to be on with you, and I'm jealous. It sounds like you guys are having a little Friday fun, man.
Hey, man. Next time you're in BR, we'll pop into Don Juan. Maybe we can even fly T-Bob in. We'll have a time at Don Juan.
I would love to. It's been too long since I've been down in BR, man. I'm looking forward to getting back there one of these days soon.
Week 3, Florida Gators in Baton Rouge. Let's make it happen, man.
I'm locked up here in Charlotte, man. It's been a busy start to the season already with shows we did, a couple of them last night around that Missouri game and SEC this morning already today. So it seems like we waited forever the season to get here. Now I'm getting steamrolled, man. It's a lot of fun, though.
We got a big one tonight, though, Chris, with Auburn at Baylor. Odd to see Auburn go to Waco, but a rare Friday night game, and one that feels really, really important for Hugh Freeze, for a program that's looking to bounce back after a disappointing season a year ago. I know you're big on this matchup. Why do you think this one is so important for Auburn?
I'm glad you mentioned the importance of this ball game, because I honestly believe it's the most important ball game of all of the games involving SEC teams this weekend. I just feel like, Matty, this Auburn team is tough to figure out, man. I think they have the biggest range of ceiling to floor. I think it was a tough offseason for their coach, for the program in general, and they need a little positivity. But like, one of the things that kind of disappointed me the most were comments that Hugh Freeze made at media days about Jackson Arnold and needing his confidence level to be high, to the point where he tells his defense coordinator to kind of take it easy on him. Man, I think that would probably did the worst to build the confidence of your quarterback when he's thinking he's having good practices, and meanwhile it's set up for his success. It sounded like the Truman Show or something out there. But I tell you, this is a game, I think, if they have success and Jackson Arnold plays well, the offense plays well, it could be a springboard to a season where maybe they win 9 games, maybe they make a push for the college football playoff. But if they lose, I mean, I think the noise around the program and maybe some self-doubt creeps in, and it could be the beginning of kind of a death spiral downward.
By the way, do you think Auburn wins this game tonight?
I do. I'm kind of looking at it through SEC glasses a bit, but I have to believe that the way that Hugh Freeze has recruited in the last couple of years, what they've done in the portal, the roster to me looks like it's deeper and more talented on the Auburn side. The thing I don't know about, they did not do well in one possession ball games. And if you look at the point spread right now, Auburn's favored by 2.5. If they get into a close game late, can they turn the fortunes and win some of those close games? I think that's kind of what I'm looking at the most tonight.
Well, Auburn and Baylor here on Friday night, but what a weekend, man. It'll start 11 a.m. Central Time, the big noon kickoff with Texas at Ohio State. You know, it's so interesting, man. This game's a virtual pick'em as of right now with Texas at Ohio State. Two talented teams, but a lot of new. Which new do you think is more effective Saturday?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, too, because new is what we're talking about in quarterbacks. New is what we're talking about with a lot of pieces around the quarterback. Both, kind of offensive lines have some new folks there. Both have some new receivers they'll be depending on. But how about new coordinators? That's the difference here, all right? Texas has some stability. Pete Kwiatkowski, who I think is one of the best defensive coordinators in the country, is back again on that side of the ball. Steve Sarkisian calling the plays on the offensive side. So schemes are very familiar to these players, whereas you look at the other side, Brian Hartline takes over as the offensive play caller. You bring in Matt Patricia from the NFL as the defensive coordinator. And I think that's kind of the matchup that I'm most looking at as I look at this, Maddie. When you're an NFL coach, you have access to your players for all hours of the day. You can do a lot more. And I think the tendency is to try to do too much. In the college level, you do have the 20-hour rule. You do have guys that aren't quite professionals yet, even though they're being paid now. So I'm curious if Matt Patricia tries to do too much against Sark with all the different things he can do to you with personnel groupings and route combinations and play creativity. I think if he tries to do too much, they could get caught playing slow or out of position and miscommunicating. And I think that could be the difference here is the relative newness of the coordinators of Ohio State to the established coordinators on the other side of Texas.
Chris Doering, SEC Network, hanging out with us here. Friday edition of AFR from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. I want to get your thought, obviously, on LSU Clemson. We'll get to that in a second. But of all the trash that we're going to see around the country and the conference in week one, a lot of, 4, 5, 6 touchdown spreads. Is there any game where we're looking at a super lopsided spread where it's not going to be competitive, but there's a storyline somewhere baked in where you are super interested in the league this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Tennessee-Syracuse game is one that I'm kind of drawn to as you ask that question. Tennessee almost a 2-touchdown favorite. I just love the storyline of Josh Heupel drawing a line in the sand when it came to Nico Iamaleava in the offseason. And yeah, I know a lot of people have question marks about what that position is going to look like with Joey Aguilar taking over. But honestly, tell me, Maddie, when was a game that you watched of Tennessee's last year where Nico Iamaleava won the game for you? I could say I think they lost the game for them. I think his performance late in that Arkansas game was a big part of why they didn't were upset by Arkansas. But I think they won games because of Dylan Sampson and Tim Banks' defense. And I know you lose a couple guys up front, some big contributors on the defensive side. I think the big matchup is the Syracuse offensive line against the defensive front that I expect to be really good for the Tennessee Vols this year. Joshua Josephs was being talked about last year as a guy that was going to be a breakout star. Didn't quite do that. He was pretty solid at times, but I think he does take that step this year. And I think that defense swarms over Fran Brown's offense that is replacing a lot of guys from last year.
Yeah, Tennessee defense. People forget, CD. I mean, Dylan Sampson was the SEC Player of the Year. I mean, he was great. But, by the way, Nico running out of bounds with no time left against Arkansas, that probably cost them an opportunity to maybe go win that game. All right, LSU Clemson, man. Everybody here is just is on edge, man. It's peak season opener energy with this game going on. First of all, do you the AJ Haulcy news that broke on Thursday that he'll be suspended for the first half? Do you think that has any impact whatsoever on the game?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe more motivation on the LSU side. Reports that Clemson had something to do with that being reported. I mean, the rule's the rule.
Yes.
Whether they found out Thursday or they found out 3 months ago, I don't think it really matters. Now, obviously, you want to have your starting lineup be at full strength for the entirety of the game. That's not the case here, and I have faith that there's enough good players in that back half of the defense to be able to compensate until Halsey can get back in the second half. So I'm not making that big of a deal out of it.
Okay. What do you think is the key matchup in this ball game with LSU and Clemson? Either team, either side of the ball.
I imagine the reason that you guys called me today to be on the show is because everybody saw my proclamation about LSU winning the SEC championship, winning the national championship.
Might have been part of it. We might get there.
Yeah, I won't get to that part. But the reason I'm all in on it, and I think the biggest thing that I'm watching tonight, Saturday in this game, that will dictate how the season goes is the offensive line. And I know a lot of people want to talk defense, and certainly that's a big part of it, but they've got to take some pressure off of Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, we mentioned on the show last night, he threw for 4,000 yards last year. I don't want him to throw for 4,000 yards this year. I want him to throw for less, being able to depend more on the running game, to have a little bit more balance in the offense. And I know Joe Sloan wants to lean that way, but if you can't block up front, if you can't move somebody up the line of scrimmage, if you can't protect, this could be a long year. And this probably is the toughest task that they'll face until they get into maybe SEC play later in the year. But this is a really good defensive front for Clemson that they're going to have to be tested early. And I honestly believe that they'll pass. I like LSU's chances to go in there and win this ball game. Everybody can say what they want about, LSU being 0-5 in their last 5 openers, but we talked about it last night. Clemson hadn't exactly lit it up in openers either lately. I think they're 1-3 in their last 4. So something's got to give in this one. And I think that LSU, I give them a lot of credit. Both these coaches, actually, a lot of credit for kind of changing their perspective on how they build their rosters. Dabo Swinney dipping into the transfer portal after being resistant before last season. And then we all know that Brian Kelly went in there and whipped everybody in the transfer portal class that he put together.
It's amazing what happened when you have bags of cash to spend. Yeah. Your perspective on how to build a roster may change. All right, Chris Doering, SEC Network, Gator legend, as you just mentioned, does have LSU winning the SEC, making a run in the playoff. Why?
Yeah, I think we see a rematch of this Clemson-LSU game in the national championship game.
I love that so much.
Why? Yeah, it would be great, right? I mean, we saw a great one in 2019. It's going to be a good one Saturday. But I honestly believe that in addition to the offensive line living up to my expectation, Blake Baker, we saw the jump from year 1 to year 2 in Como when he was the DC at Missouri. I think you're going to have a similar situation because not only do your players know how to run the scheme a little bit more after being in year 1 under it last year, but the defensive coaches know how to better put those players in positions to be successful. And maybe one of the other things I have my eye on this weekend that could dictate what the rest of the season looks like, you almost forget that Harold Perkins Jr. is back for another year after the injury last year. That they're working him there at that star nickel spot. I think that Blake Baker will do a great job of using him. Obviously Whit Weeks is the kind of stabilizing force in the middle of that defense, but I think the X factor that is Harold Perkins is something I'm keeping my eye on. I think the defense is going to be a lot better. I believe in the run game, and I know Garrett Nussmeier is going to do a great season back here in his 5th year in Baton Rouge.
He is Chris Doering of the SEC Network. You'll get him at Chris Doering on Twitter, X, or whatever you want to call it. And he'll be coming to Don Juan Cigar Bar soon enough. Thanks,
man. Thanks, Matty.
We appreciate Chris Doering for a couple of minutes. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Dr. Blake Williamson, awesome guy. They do awesome work. They've changed lives, man. Literally, they've changed mine. Dr. Blake Williamson did my LASIK, what are we, 7-8 years ago now? Coming up in September. If you live your life with contacts and glasses and you want to ditch them forever, to wake up in the morning and just see, it is a transformative change you can make, and Dr. Blake Williamson can help. But it starts with that consultation. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to williamsoneye.com. Okay, y'all, we're here at Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. An amazing story behind Pinhook Bourbon. and I could not recommend it enough. Neat, rocks in your favorite cocktail. Their Core 3, which we've got on set with us here, their bourbon, their rye, their cask strength bourbon. Look for it, ask for it. Trust me, I would never lie to you about whiskey. You all would out me as a fraud. You know that. I'm a big fan of Pinhook and have been for years, and glad to have him on the show with us today. So wherever you go, football Saturday is upon us. Make sure you grab some Pinhook bourbon. Okay, y'all. I've made you wait long enough. I'm going to give you my official LSU Clemson pick. We'll wrap up with a thought on the 20-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. We'll do that as we continue next here on AFR.
AFR.
Hey, if you want to feel your best, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. And yes, they do ED treatments. That's part of what they do, but it's only a part. At Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, their whole objective is to get you feeling your best inside out. What can they help supplement to make you feel and live your most optimal life? Maybe it is ED treatment. Maybe it's hormone replacement therapy. I can tell you, I've shared my story for years. Lived in a hospital for 9 months with my son. It aged me dramatically. I had the testosterone of a 70-year-old man, started on HRT, and I'm telling you, from the first day, it's an invigorating feeling to feel like you did when you were younger. It's affordable, lowest prices, never any contracts. If it's HRT, if it's one of their many different peptide therapies to help you live optimally. NAD Plus is great for energy, BPC 157 for recovery. Learn more and live your best life. YourGoodwood.com.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Yeah, definitely. I love that dude to death. Coach Baker, he's really changed the game of football for me. Like, I love football more now than I ever have in my life just because of him. Like, he's so much fun to be around all the time, and he's really simplified the game, not only for me, I'm sure for everybody on the whole defense. And whenever, it's simpler, you can just fly around and make plays.
Whit Weeks talking about Blake Baker's influence on this LSU defense. One of my bold prediction for LSU this year that we put up at LouisianaSports.net, that LSU, for the first time since 2017, would finish top 20 nationally in total defense. I believe Blake Baker, year 2, with Whit Weeks, with Harold Perkins, with all that talent on the defensive front, and improved secondary thanks in large part to the transfer portal and adding DJ Pickett. I do think this will be a top 20 defense in the country. Plenty of time to prove that out. Hey, real quick, of course, LSU Clemson, Zach Von Rosenberg was here a bit ago talking 2019. Of course, Joe Burrow, the core of that team. I want to remind you again to dine with 9 on 9/9. Mark that date, September the 9th, 9/9, Joe Burrow's number, Supper Club. 9% of all the proceeds going to the Joe Burrow Foundation on September the 9th. So 9/9, dine with 9. Joe won't be there. Joe's going to be playing in the NFL. But it's a great way to benefit the Joe Burrow Foundation and Supper Club, our great partner, partnering there as well. By the way, also, if you go check out any of the 104.5 ESPN social media, you'll see the Winning and Boozing cocktail video where, shout out, hat tip to Chris Marler, Rivers Huey. They did an awesome job with it. They made that cocktail to compliment Winning and Boozing at the bar at Supper Club, which we tell you all the time is open seating. So it's Friday night, you want to go pop in, have a cocktail at Don Juan, or a cocktail, at Supper Club, you can do it at Supper Club. Get your reservation. Again, remember, September 9th, dine with 9 on September the 9th at Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. All right, got to give you a pick, and there's no way I'm going to wrap the show with my pick, because we're not wrapping this week with bad vibes. I just refuse to do it, so we'll wrap on a much higher note. But I've told you since SEC Media Days, my lean was Clemson in this game, and I've been to every fall camp practice that was available to the media. I've watched LSU a ton, and it has reinforced my belief that LSU is a college football playoff team, and I am picking LSU to win the Southeastern Conference and beat Texas. I think LSU will have a landmine somewhere along the way in conference play, just because it's really hard to go undefeated. I think they'll be 7-1. I think they'll go to Atlanta, and they'll beat Texas in the SEC championship game, win the SEC, go to the college football playoff, and I'll cross my fingers, hoping that LSU gets a great draw and makes a run to another national championship, where I hope along the way we see a rematch between LSU and Clemson, because I want to see what this game would look like in October or November or December or January as compared to what it's going to look like Saturday night in Clemson, South Carolina. When I look at this are two very evenly matched teams. If you just go position by position, quarterback, we love Nuss, they love Cade Klubnik. These are two of the top guys in the country by any metric, any standard, draft projection, All-American, Heisman, all of it, it's all there. It's a virtual push with those two. Clemson has the edge on the offensive line. LSU has the edge at running back. It's a push at wide receiver. They return their top 3 guys. LSU never a shortage of great receivers. LSU's got the edge at tight end. At defensive tackle, Clemson's got the edge there. At defensive end, I think LSU has the edge there with the depth. Well, I think TJ Parker's outstanding. I think LSU's numbers and depth there are better. At linebacker, you give me Whit Weeks and Harold Perkins, I'll take LSU. Clemson has the edge at cornerback with Avon Terrell. And I think at safety, it's probably a push, maybe a lean to LSU with AJ Haulcy. This is so evenly matched. By the way, LSU has a decided edge in special teams, so if it does come down to the third phase, I give LSU the edge to make that kick, make that game-changing play in special teams if it comes down to that. As a matter of fact, Eric McLean, former Clemson Tiger, now on the ACC Network, was on this show this week and said, his quote was, "I pray to God it doesn't come down to special teams, because Clemson would be in trouble if it did." Whenever I am at a stalemate in a game, when I look at something and it's evenly matched, this is just, I'm not saying this is the right way to do it, it's just how I've always done it. If I think two teams are evenly matched and I don't give a decided edge, talent, quarterback, somebody that one way or another, I look at 3 things. This is what I've always done. If you listen to the show, you've heard me say this before. I look at coach, quarterback, and venue. Those are the three things I use as the tiebreaker when I can't decide on a game. Well, I just told you I think quarterback's a push with Nuss and Klubnik. I think both. Cade Klubnik threw for 36 touchdowns and 6 interceptions last year. He was outstanding, and he has the ability to affect the game with his feet. So he is. I'm not going to minimize Cade Klubnik. I think he's an outstanding player. I think both are outstanding quarterbacks. That is a push. I don't give a decided edge either way. Coaching, you could say Dabo Swinney because he's won 2 national championships, and you wouldn't be wrong. Brian Kelly's also the winningest active coach in college football, and I think coaching, you have 2 of the greatest coaches of this era. Dabo has the national championships, but I think this is a game where I don't know that I would give a decided edge there either way. So the third is venue, and this really, to me, comes down to venue. As a matter of fact, we had Johnny Avello, the sportsbook operator at DraftKings, on earlier this week. He said Clemson gets 4 points home field advantage. If they were setting this line at a neutral site, LSU would probably be like a half-a-point favorite. If this game was in Baton Rouge, LSU would be favored. It's one of those things where it really does come down to 2 evenly matched teams, but this is game 1 for LSU with so many new pieces brought in from the portal. And you've got to go on the road against the team that returns more experience and more production from a year ago than any other team in America. When it comes down to it, that venue is probably the differentiator in this game for Clemson. By the way, Dabo Swinney, in his 17th full season, if you count his interim year, it's his 18th season, in his home openers, not season openers, but home openers, he's 17-0 and 14-3 against the spread. That is daunting. That is ominous. It is just, I wish like hell LSU had a week 0. I wish this was 2019 where you had Georgia State before you went to Texas, but you don't. You're going to figure out your offensive line. You got to play without a great safety in the first half. You know, you're working in so many transfers at tight end, at receiver that are going to factor in for you here. Defensively, you've got transfers all over the field that I think by the time we get to October, November, December, LSU might well be the best team in the country by the time we get there. They're just far from a finished product today. And I think the toughest game on the toughest game on LSU's schedule, even tougher than going to Tuscaloosa and Oxford and Norman in November and all that. The toughest game on LSU's schedule is Saturday at Clemson. So it's very hard for me to look at that, considering all those circumstances, and go with LSU. I think this is a tight game. I think this is an under game where I'm not going to play the line aside. If there's a play on this game, I think it is on the under, which is at 57.5. I hope it keeps ticking up. I may take a look at the under, but I think this is a 20s game, and I think Clemson wins at 27-24. I'm not buying into all the 5 straight openers and all that stuff. That so much of that is circumstance of who you play, and the ones before Brian Kelly don't even affect Brian Kelly. But I'll take Clemson in a close game, but I'm not sure LSU loses again after that. And it's going to be a hell of a season, and I'm excited about a great game Saturday night in Clemson. And I hope on Monday we're back here, and y'all are pointing and laughing at me. All right, we're going to wrap up the show from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon, next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Glow Resources and glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions at Glow Resources. When we talk about Glow Resources, I talk about a business that helps businesses optimize. When we talk about Glow Resources, their job is to help you be optimal in your business, because what they do is work with you, the business owner, the hiring manager, the HR coordinator, the ops manager, to find the best people for your job, whatever that is. If it's accounting, if it's legal, if it's media, no matter what industry you're in, every business thrives when you have the right people in the organization in the right seats on the bus. That's what Glow Resources does. Over the course of a year, they will conduct some 15,000 interviews. They are experts at knowing what questions to ask to help you find the right people for your business. So stop wasting time, money, and resources and get the right people, and let Glow Resources help. glowresources.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Tarina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Football Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Of course, this is the 20-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. We do pause to commemorate all those who lost their lives and so much, and honor a resilient state that's continued to power forward. I have been asked no less than 10,000 times since T-Bob left what's going to happen to Whiskey and Wine, and it's only appropriate that we finish this show here, where we've made Whiskey and Wine our home since the 2020 season, a show that started with me and Jordy back in 2017. T-Bob in 2021 jumped aboard and really took that show to a completely different level. But Whiskey and Wine at Don Juan is going away. I do plan on doing a post-game show in the same format, just from my home and on my personal YouTube channel. I'm going to call it Whiskey and Wine because it's the thing Jordy and I started when we did it from our homes back in 2017. I'm going to sit on my back patio, I'm going to drink a whiskey, I'm going to smoke a cigar, and we will do an unfiltered post-game show. It's just going to be on my personal Matt Moscona YouTube channel from my house instead of here at Don Juan. Love Don Juan. We're so grateful that they hosted us for Whiskey and Wine for as long as they did. There's no replacing T-Bob. You can't find another T-Bob. So the nature of that show was going to change inevitably when he left. But you're damn right. I'm going to be doing a post-game show. Of course, I'm going to be talking about it as unfiltered a way as I've ever wanted to. It's just not going to be the rigidity of it's got to be 90 minutes on the ESPN channel the way it's been. It's just different, like so many things change. But as soon as the clock hits 0 with LSU and Clemson, I'll be live, smoking a cigar, drinking a whiskey, and we'll hope that you'll join us on the Matt Moscona YouTube channel for a new Whiskey and Wine. Alondra, thanks. Moose and Paulie back in studio. Thanks. Y'all have a great one. Go Tigers.
After further review.
As we get out of here, I want to remind you about our friends at Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU athletics. As we always say, Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. OLOLRMC.com/LSU, OLOLRMC.com/LSU if you want to learn more. But, you know, when LSU's taking on Clemson Saturday, we hope everybody, of course, stays healthy. But in the event that something does happen and a player's injured, the doctors that are going to take care of the LSU football players on Saturday and all season long are Our Lady of the Lake physicians. The doctors that take care of the LSU students at the Student Health Center are Our Lady of the Lake physicians. The doctors that take care of, well, me and my family are Our Lady of the Lake physicians. See, Drew's treated at Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. My own personal physician, Dr. Curtis Chastain, part of the Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group. The bottom line is, if it's cancer, if it's any different type of treatment, you want the best, you want Our Lady of the Lake.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond.